The future. Dark, dirty, dangerous. You're loners, punks, and criminals, marginalized by society through birth, choice, or violence. Parasites, living symbiotic existences in the shadows cast by the arcologies, feeding from the scraps dangled by the megacorporations, and then scurrying back to the shadows to avoid their dismissive, destructive gaze. Those vast multinational corporations, zaibatsus, some call them, squat over everything, pulling strings, controlling the flow of money, information, goods, and people. Governments scamper around their feet begging for scraps. Hydrophilic lubricious polymers and automated cleaners keep their arcologies shining amidst the gray-brown urban sprawl which surrounds them. Corporate financial muscle pushes people around the city like blood. The mega corporations, humanity's most successful artificial organism. Technology keeps changing, shifting, mutating. It's adapt or die. There's a sticky film of information smeared over everything, a network data sphere in a service by the megacorps. Buy this, obey that, buy more. See, the corps aren't satisfied with having it all. They want more. And the only way they can get it is by eating their own. For the megacorporations, espionage, theft, kidnapping, and murder are just file folders in the system architecture of success. For you, though, they're rungs on the slippery ladder out of the caustic, industrial air the rest of us breathe. Play your cards right, and you'll be set. Reputation, money, credibility, everything you want. Freedom. But one false step, and they'll take away everything. The corps don't need you. They need people like you. Screw up, and you'll be replaced by the next mouthy punk with too much raw talent, bloody ambition, and not enough smarts. Tread carefully. There's plenty more like you out there. Welcome to the sprawl. So now that we're introduced, hi guys, my name is Nick Limon, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies for Synth.Test. And joining me today, the most important people in Synth.Test, the players. Over here we have Coral.
Hello.
And next to her we have Aaron.
Hey.
And across the table we have Jason. And finally we have Joey.
Damn side bot, Suze.
So a lot of people say, a lot of I guess hubbub has been around what kind of system we're going to be using for this RPG show for Synth.Test, and we decided on the Sprawl. Coral and I both figured this out. And the Sprawl is a game of mission-based action in a gritty neon and chrome cyberpunk future. You are the extended assets of vast multinational corporations operating in the criminal underground and performing the tasks that those multinationals can't do or can't be seen to do. You are deniable, professional, and ultimately disposable. So I think people ask, why the Sprawl? Why this game in particular? So why play the Sprawl? You play the Sprawl to find out what happens in a neon and chrome cyberpunk future. You play the Sprawl to create a story about badass professionals living outside the law. You play the Sprawl to struggle against the man. Yeah. And then you play the Sprawl to sometimes win, sometimes lose, and get double-crossed a lot. So that's why we chose this one. It's very cinematic, less focus on systems and like, oh, what's your intelligence plus 1d4? A lot less of math, more just focusing on cinematic movement and keeping things entertaining for the storytelling purposes. But I've talked a lot. Yeah. So what we can do now is try and establish the setting for our world. So the first thing I got to ask you guys is, what does cyberpunk mean to you? And when you think of the word cyberpunk, what is it? So go ahead, discuss. What is cyberpunk?
The future degraded. We got a lot further than we are now, and then it has fallen by the wayside. It's slightly dystopic, I think, is my idea of it.
Okay. What about you, Aaron?
Well, when I think of cyberpunk, I think of steampunk. I think of the monocles and like it almost looks old-fashioned with like the top hat. But is that cyberpunk?
I think that's more steampunk.
Is that steampunk?
Yeah, that's more like
I get them confused.
Pistons and like brass and stuff
Okay.
like that. This is more like Blade Runner. Did you watch like Blade Runner 2049?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
It's a lot
I
more
was
that tone.
confused. Then yeah, dystopic future. A lot of technology. A lot of things are condensed.
Mm-hmm. Like stacked on top of each other, very busy. Top,
sort of building up instead of out. Grass would be hard to find.
Less vegetation. Yeah,
Less
that's
vegetation.
Good. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
that's important.
A lot of crime. That's what I think. A lot of crime. I think there's a lot of politics, a lot of crime. Yeah. That's what I think.
What about you, Jay?
You seen the movie The Net with Sandra Bullock?
I haven't. No, what is it?
It's about the internet before the internet was a thing. It was very silly.
Is it like predictive? Like, was it predictive of whether?
It's like we were talking about earlier. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun or whatever,
No,
but it was like
talk.
the cell phone thing. Like, you know, the cell phones aren't in this cyberpunk stuff. It's like landlines and payphones and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like a very like retro vision of what the future could possibly be. A lot of it was like on the nose, like wow, they nailed it. But a lot is like, oh no, they forgot to add cell phones, and that's like a big thing now. So What about you, Joey? What do you think cyberpunk is?
I think cyberpunk represents a time where classism has once again run rampant, and the wage gap is so dysmorphic that we see people not only at the tippiest of the top, but in the streets with nothing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So now I think we just build the world based on that going forward. So I asked, like, what kind of technology are we looking at here? Is it the 80s vision of cyberpunk where it's like computers on every street corner, or is it more like modern in that, you know, everyone has a cell phone in their pocket, that kind of thing? What do you guys like? Like in Blade Runner, did you see a lot of cell phones? The original one you didn't, but new one you did.
You don't need cell phones when they're implanted in your body already, right?
That's what I think.
What he just said.
Yeah.
So technology, communications, all integrated
Microchips.
into the self, into biology. Okay, cool. So we can do that.
Neolution, one might say.
In the what?
Neolution.
Yeah, say that again. I'm asking you to say it again.
I'm sorry, Jay, what was that?
Say that again.
Oh, Neolution.
What's that?
Our cyber enhancement.
Thanks.
So that being said, now we have an established tone for the technology, kind of oppressive, dark, rainy, overpopulated, that sort of thing. Where in the world is this set? Where do you guys want it to be? It could be anywhere from LA to Japan, or just a fictional area. It's up to you. We had kind of like workshop this thing called the new AE, the new United Arab Emirates. But what do you guys think? Does that sound appealing to you?
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
I don't know.
How about you, Joey? Does it sound weird to you? Would you rather it be somewhere you recognize more?
No, I want somewhere I don't recognize.
Okay, totally.
I like that fictional. Well, is this fictional?
What?
Is this real life?
You walk outside
No, I
and
know,
there's
I'm
hovercrafts
getting into
and stuff like
character.
that.
Fictional. I think I like that, but I can also relate to. I feel like if it is like a real place that we want to riff off of, like LA or Tokyo or whatever, we can relate to that in a way, which would be kind of cool. So I could go either way.
And the thing that's nice too is we have the ability to travel all over the world in this story, but for the sake of like where we're starting, it's nice to have like just an established world, and we kind of know how it operates. And then if you guys take a mission that takes place in Japan or takes place in LA, you do have that ability to go there and see what it looks like in this crazy dystopic future. So that's always open. But it seems like nobody really has to contest the new AE.
No, and I think we can make it like a version of the UAE that's been heavily Americanized with like heavy American capitalist influences, so it can be.
How so? How so?
A lot of the tech might have been like American tech companies coming in, and like almost like a Silicon Valley kind of bubble was created out there.
So everything's kind of made in a way that's more efficient for how like this world's going to produce new technology and new ideas.
And maybe it used to be like the version of what Silicon Valley is here, but that's history at this point. It's not at that peak like efficiency the way it is here. You know?
I like that. And now as far as like one thing that's always common in the future is virtual reality / augmented reality. Do we want to work any of that into this world? Like, is there holograms that roam around? Is advertisement catered to the individual? So I might see a different ad based on my individual taste than Joey sees and stuff like that. Or do you want it to be just less flash and more just grime?
What is the grime part?
Let's
give
just,
an example.
Like rainy, mud, just more natural oppressive as opposed to like sensory overload oppressive.
It's so hard.
What about a mix of both?
A mix of both is probably ideal.
Yeah.
One thing that's like the core tenet of the sprawl is to make everything neon and chrome and then make it as grimy as possible. So I think that works.
If I could see you going to the urinal and then like an ad for something you like comes up right in front of you. Like you can't even go pee and escape that.
No, that's great.
You know?
Now, does everybody see these like augmented reality holograms and advertisements? Is it like an opt-in program?
And unless you pay like some kind of premium and it doesn't
Ad
follow you
blocker.
everywhere. Yeah, or an ad blocker or your hack.
What would an ad
Yeah,
blocker
it's really
entail
weird,
in
but-
this
Like
world?
it would keep all that stuff.
But is it something that you buy, or is it
Yeah,
something you
you-
modify yourself?
Yeah.
Make like
Well,
like
You can do both. You can
crack
do both.
the
You can
software.
crack the software if you want.
Okay, so people are kind of forced into this world. Now, is the illusion something that is grafted into them at birth, of like being able to see these holograms? Like, is because you live in this particular area, you're grafted with this special piece in your eye that lets you see this? because of
Microchip.
that? A microchip in the eye or something like that?
Never.
Not about that?
No.
Just, it's realistic to me. It freaks me out.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Should it be at birth, or should it be sort of like how everyone has a cell phone, and like we all made the choice to have one and get one, but it's like it would be near impossible to function in society as a
That's a
regular
very
person
good
if
question.
you chose not to have that. So everyone chooses to have it.
I like
But
that.
how would it be difficult to function without one?
Tried being
You
without a
can't
cell phone
see.
for a
You
week.
can't see the information. Like maybe it's some of it's ads that you see wherever you go, but some of it is like if you want to go take the subway, that's how the map is. So if you don't have
how
that
you
implant, yeah, it's how you pay. It's like it's been integrated
Yeah.
into every sort of cultural.
Can't buy, sell, or
Interaction.
trade without it.
Yeah, I like that. It's scary.
The augmentations are the crux of capitalism.
Upsetting.
I like that. And I think that's something that we should definitely explore, because it seems like everyone's kind of into that idea of exploring like pretty bad the future today.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
Yeah.
cyberpunk really, like at its core, it's about like extrapolating the like panics of today into this mystical, fantastical setting. So kind of being able like, what are we afraid of today, and how do we make that like flashy and chrome, if you will. And I think that definitely fits.
Yeah, that's a very good one, Coral.
And as far as the new AE goes, the new United Arab Emirates, I think we kind of like just pick a hunk of land right here that I pulled up on my laptop, and like I say, it just takes over this like entire area right here, crossing the Gulf of Oman, and kind of spans that entire area. Oh wait, you guys can't see it on the screen. Sorry.
We can see this little monitor.
I can pull it up here. Or not.
Nick, we see it. Nick, we see it.
There you go. Well, it'll be like this entire area, and we had kind of like workshopped this a little bit earlier, but Cole had come up with a really cool idea to have like a desert environment off to the west, but instead of like a traditional desert, it is like a, what did you say it was?
I think it's called gray goo. It's this kind of like sci-fi monster idea that you have nanotech that is capable of like recreating itself and replicating itself, and if you kind of let it loose or lose control of it, it will just spread out of control, because everything it touches, it'll turn into more of itself. So instead of sand, you have this gray goo nanotech
And
that's
it's like
spreading
always
and
moving.
growing.
It's like the
and-
desert's moving and
Yeah.
stuff like it's alive.
Yeah.
And it'll.
Inhabitable.
So what happens if you like touch it and stuff like that? You just become
It'll start to
slowly-
infect you, yeah.
I'm into that. So
We're
like
trapped.
off to the west side of the new AE, we have like this desert that kind of keeps people from expanding. But how is the city keeping it at bay? I
A
think
force
Jason,
field, like a
Yeah, Jason had come with this. I like
frequency or whatever.
So like a radio frequency is a thing that's keeping
Something
it
simple,
by bay,
like
at bay.
technology, but something simple that they found out that, oh well, they just don't come past this.
I like that.
Do you think that like a corporation is in charge of like maintaining that frequency?
Yeah.
Like, is this the corporation? Because it feels like the Grey Goo Desert. It almost seems like that's the thing that stopped the new AE from being wiped off the face of the map.
Right.
Like this radio frequency. So it seems like whatever corporation was responsible for this sort of thing would definitely be like the most prominent in the city. So maybe like one of the biggest bads in our story.
They make you pay for it.
Oh, it's like a fee thing, a tax. That's cool. I'm into that. Let me see. Just write that down. Grey Goo Desert to the west.
Yeah, there you go. Show him typing. That's cool.
All right. And then I think like this on the Gulf of Oman, instead of just having an open thing of water, I like the idea of having like Dubai is a very like rich and extravagant, super like over the top luxury, and I like the idea of like elevating that to 11 in a cyberpunk world. But I think ultimately that would kind of push the lower class out of the city. And I like the idea of having like shanty towns on the water. So like not necessarily land that's on the water, but like enough garbage and filth has accumulated that like the poorer people like live on islands essentially in the Gulf of Oman. And so there's like businesses and bazaars and stuff like that in the water. I think that'd be pretty neat. And you have like a crazy like mega freeway or something.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
like a 40-lane freeway. That'd be pretty cool, like to cross the channel. It'd be pretty sweet.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like what you're putting down.
Any other suggestions for what we could do as far as like adding to this crazy world?
Jet skis.
Jet skis? Yeah, absolutely. That's the way everybody gets around. Does every building have like a jet ski port?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, also hover cars. Does our world have like
Yeah, I was
hovers?
thinking about that.
It's up to you.
We'll never get them in real life, so we might as well have them here.
Okay, so hovers are definitely here, and I'm assuming just for the higher class people. Lower class people, how do they get around? Their cars is like fossil fuel still a thing?
They
No.
walk.
They walk. What about
That's an
to
option.
get across the Gulf? Still
They swim.
Yeah, you can't walk,
okay.
but there is
Or
enough
Or you have
garbage.
clothes or technology to swim across.
All right, let's see what else we got here. So one thing I think we should establish as far as like before we build characters is that when we do ultimately build characters, you guys aren't really friends to start off with. You're just like professionals who know each other professionally. You're aware of each other's existence because you're like, oh, that dude's probably good at hacking, or that person's probably good at whatever, driving. So just keep that in mind. And one thing we'll be doing in the course of this session is deciding a playbook, which is ultimately just choosing a class, and that'll kind of show you how your character behaves throughout the game and like the different abilities at your disposal. So step 0, I think we define the corporations. So right now, each of us is going to have to choose corporations, so I'll just read directly from the book here. Each player, including the Master of Ceremonies, names and briefly describes a mega corporation or an entity of similar scope, like an organized crime syndicate or government. And the level of detail of the description varies on the person, of course, but it's always good to get as detailed as possible and create as many like complicated things about the corporation. That way I can kind of try to find a way to work that into our story. So does anybody have an idea for like what they would want to explore in our story, what kind of corporations they'd want to work in? If not, I have an example I can give you guys that I think I want to do for like my suggestion. I'm thinking it's called Gungar Defense Systems, and Gungar Defense Systems is like almost like a Blackwater type group where they're like mercenaries that are not sanctioned by any government, but this corporation has gotten so powerful that they provide defense and security for other corporations. Like they outsource their labor to other corporations to be the security guards at the front door, to be the special elite guards at the exec's office, that sort of thing. And not only do they provide like defensive people and like actual human bodies and meat and flesh, but they also do like special weapons, like exoskeletons, stuff like that. I love seeing exoskeleton type stuff, so I definitely want to see that in the world. That'd be really neat. But yeah, just like powerful weapons, military contractors, that sort of thing.
What if we do a pharmaceutical company?
Okay,
Someone's
what kind of
gotta-
pharmaceutical company?
Shoot, I don't know. Who's putting the chips in people?
Okay, so it's like
You know? Who's
a
manufacturing? I don't know. Would there be disease? Would it be like technological, biological type stuff that, or like certain things we have to have implanted in us, or certain things that we have to, because that gray goo, if it's like super contagious, everyone has to have something.
There
you
could be
know?
like kind of a subsect to pharmaceuticals. It's all
Yeah.
about how technology and the body interact. And
Like
how to
integration.
Fix, yeah,
Mhm.
and kind
That
of
works.
mediate
I'm
that.
into that.
And rejection.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? Could you think of a name for it? What would be like a cool name for like a fictional pharmaceutical? Like they specialize especially in like implant chips and microprocessors in the
think
body and stuff like
what
that.
would be something that would be
Chips
big
Ahoy.
enough?
Chips.
I like it. What would something that would be that would be big that they would do to manipulate people or put chips? Because we mentioned the chips thing, so I think that would work for that.
Question: do you think this pharmaceutical company is the one that kind of first discovered the radio frequency? Or is that maybe something Jay had in mind for a company? Like, do you think that
maybe we don't know.
We don't know who discovered this radio frequency?
Are you talking about the one that's protecting the city?
Yeah,
Could be. That could be.
we can do that.
Okay.
That'd be
I
neat.
think that would work. Because they know how it all works. They're definitely, I feel like it would be like they're very in charge of a lot of that stuff, more than we know. More than we know. What should we call it though?
What are other like names for pharmaceutical companies? Like, it's hard to think of something off the top of the head. Joey, do you have any idea?
Just want to call it like symptoms.
You know,
The
every username, I've been told that every username can be classified as one of three things. An ancient historian, a Pokemon, or a pharmaceutical.
Really?
So if you throw something out there,
yeah, anything
gonna be
kinda
one of those
fits, 'cause
three.
there's like Alliance Boots, Alcon, Biocon,
Zelnique,
Help Remedies, Hetero Drugs, Ionis Pharmaceuticals. I mean, if you just think of a word that sounds cool.
I
and
know, I'm
then-
trying to think of a word that sounds cool.
And then throw like laboratories on it or something. Like even, like,
Labrador.
health laboratories.
Vita something.
Ooh, Vita's
or
good.
Rogue something. Vita.
Vitatech.
Vitacore.
Vitatech.
Vitacore. Vitatech. Do you guys have any suggestions?
That's pretty good.
I like Vitacore.
Sounds healthy, but
It sounds kind of
Nefarious.
sinister.
Yeah.
Vitacore. And so what is it again that they do? Like exactly, like what is their specialty? So like Microsoft does, computers, they do video games, they do software, all those sorts of things. Like what is Vitacore's specialty? Like Gunger is all weapons manufacturing, and security and defense kind of thing. So what do you think like pharmaceuticals, yes, with drugs.
Yeah, you could do like vaccines
Mhm.
or
Yeah, what are they
Yeah.
like? They can definitely be developing like prototype stuff. So if they're doing stuff like implanting chips and things, they
like
could be
nanobot shit they can put in your body.
Do you think Vitacorp might have accidentally started the Grey Goo Desert?
That's a good one.
Like maybe there was
Yeah,
a
they
shipping
could.
container that got like destroyed along
Like
the
the
way.
Japanese beetle.
What do you mean?
The Japanese beetle that made it come over here, but it was in a shipping container from Japan, and it got released in America, and that's why we have Japanese beetles. They're not supposed to be here, but it was a shipping issue or something like that.
I like that.
That's how it happened.
I wonder if there's like a name for that beetle.
After being
'cause
accidentally introduced in New Jersey.
that might be a cool like name
Yeah.
for the Grey Goo. Like instead of just
The
calling it
Japanese
Grey
beetle?
Goo, we call it like whatever the name is of this.
Chips
that beetle.
Ahoy.
That'd be neat. That's something we can figure out along the way.
We call it the Popila something. whatever that
Cause of Grey Goo. I'll put a question mark by that. That way we
Okay.
don't have to commit to that.
was. It could
Implants.
implants, like little nanobots. Like I feel like it would be like bioengineering, right?
Yeah, that works.
Bioengineering,
hmm
stuff like that.
Jay, any ideas? Or Joey, any ideas for like a huge megacorp, a Zaibatsu
Damn Zaibatsus. Go ahead, Joey.
or Coral?
thinking of a corporation that's monopolized early childhood
Ooh.
food.
What do you mean?
There you
They-
go.
They
Like Gerber?
Bastards.
what world are we in, Nick? They're called Teat and
TEET?
TET, and basically they are the only supplier of infant food, and this food is so specialized it actually helps prepare your body for implants, so that the rich are able to purchase this and quicker progress their children towards this path of cybernetics, whereas
Shit.
those who can't afford their
It's a
food
scary world.
So baby food preps body for
Enhancements.
cybernetic enhancements.
And it's very binary. It's either you're on Teat, you jumpstart your life, you become more of a human quicker, or you don't.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah,
Very
that's really
classist.
cool. And the haves have a lot of it, and the nots nothing. I wonder, is there like a business for like bootlegging the whatever substance this is? Like, is that something that this company specifically looks out for and they try to bust?
I mean, they have so much that, I mean, you can pirate or bootleg it, but it's not proprietary formula. So what happens if you get bad teeth?
Oh yeah, what happens? Tell me. Anybody know?
It's
Any
not-
idea what happens?
Not good for your body.
Deformities?
Because one thing that happens in this game, like you can get cybernetic enhancements, but when you like buy the enhancements yourself, obviously people at their core, they like to save money and they like to try and be cheap about it. And so there's a tendency for the technology you to buy that's unreliable. So we can kind of work that together where, hey, you didn't have your teat when you were growing up, so your cybernetic arm just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Or it like malfunctions randomly throughout the day, or the implant in your eye causes you to see ghosts or something.
Yeah.
Just something random. I like that.
Ooh, you just blew my mind, Nick.
With what?
Just keep it going.
I like that. Bootlegging around city, but it does knock off. What, is the product just called Teat, or is that just the company name? What's the actual substance? Any name?
Milk.
Milk. I like that. Milk's good. You can put a 1 in there because it's cyberpunk. Coral, Jason, any ideas for companies? Because right now we have a defensive, militarized style corporation. We have Vitacor,
Potato.
Pharmaceutical, which would probably be in competition with Teat. So there could be some chance for like espionage, like corporate espionage. That'd be pretty neat. And then we have Teat.
We definitely need a mega media
Company.
A
corporation.
mega
for
media
sure.
conglomerate. What is
Yeah.
this? What kind of media do they specialize in?
They're probably kind of horizontally integrated, so they have their hands in everything.
Like Disney.
Yeah. Yeah. They bring you your news. They bring
Apple.
your kids' shows to you. They bring you
I like
your VR porn. They bring you all of it.
Cool. Do you think there's room in this world for like the SimStim idea, where it's like it's like that movie Strange Days. It's like an old one where basically I can sell my memories for people to like relive them. So I can get rid of my opening Christmas presents memory so that I can sell it to a company who will then like burn it to a chip and then like give it to somebody else so that they can experience it. But now I lost that memory, and the only way for me to experience is that something that they kind of dive into?
Yeah, they can do that.
Like a SimStim style thing, and then they do a lot of the VR. Are they responsible for most of the ads that you see?
Yes.
Yes.
They're maybe
Yeah.
the tech for the ads. What's the name you got for this? Any names?
Maybe like Unilux Media.
Unilux.
Unilux.
UNILUXE. I like that. Unilux Media. And then they huge media conglomerate that oversees ads, porn, television, film, everything. But what is their motive though? Like, is there anything sinister behind them, or is it just kind of like, this is just our monopoly, like we hold this. Like Teat definitely has some sort of like ulterior motive going here with like creating this separation of class.
Right.
Gungar is just ultimately evil because they create weapons and stuff like that. And Vitacor probably is corrupt because of the whole Grey Goo fiasco and the implant stuff. There's probably shady stuff there. So what is Unilux after? Like, what's their ultimate goal?
I think you can buy them. So politicians or Gungar can just work with that company, and for the right amount of money, Unilux can make sure
They'll
the
gain
populace
the election.
supports
Yeah.
them.
I like that.
They're,
the right
they're a
things
tool.
are being said.
Yeah, they're a tool.
Nice, I like that. Jay, any ideas for a company you'd like to see? And again, keep in mind too, we're not limited to just Earth. There's definitely like a lot of cyberpunk fiction that has like space orbit, like space colonies and stuff like that. So that's another option.
Oh
You
yeah.
said you had mentioned digital ghosts, like offhand, right? And it made me think of like cyberspace Ghostbusters, like people who like help people that are having that ghost problem, like
No, I get it. It's like corrupt data.
It's corrupt
essentially.
data. Like,
And maybe like this corrupt data because it's integrated into like all this hardware is integrated into human biology. So that corrupt data manifests itself as like maybe the worst fears of somebody.
like defragging people's.
Yeah,
brains.
that's cool. So a company that specializes in defragging like neural interfaces and things
I
like
like
that. I'm
that.
into that.
I like the way you said it better.
I'm into that. So like, what is there? Because like these aren't good guys though. They aren't good. So what is their ulterior motive? Like what do they do? 'Cause what you have is great, but what is
Sometimes
the sinister thing?
sometimes they don't help. Like they actually like put those things in people, specific people.
So basically, like they Inception style plant memories and like motives. And so maybe, I mean, it sounds kind of like Unilux and this other unnamed company might tend to work together. Maybe, maybe if some politician wants to hire Unilux, to
They
win
hired
an
them
election,
secretly to
They
implant them
outsource
with.
some work, and there could definitely be room for again more corporate espionage because certainly, do we have a name for it by chance?
Smile.
Smile, I like that. Smile Inc.
Yeah. Do the take the L and I away and do the semicolon and parenthesis and then an E.
Oh, I like that. That's cute. I like that. Smile Core, Smile Industries.
Just small.
Smile,
Just smile.
I like that.
Nobody really knows.
Oops.
They don't know if they're an LLC, an org,
Non-profit.
a nonprofit,
Profit.
an NGO.
Specialize in defragging,
I like that. Neural interfaces, that's what you said earlier.
ingesting corrupt data in neural interfaces that manifest themselves as whatever.
Wow, I could watch Nick type all day.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a nice starting ground. Again, I'll probably mention like random corporations just for the sake of like, there's probably a car manufacturer here. Or there's probably another drug manufacturer, because certainly Vitacor isn't the only one. Or maybe they are. Maybe they did manage to monopolize this pharmaceutical thing. Who knows? But over the course of the story, we'll find ways of integrating other companies and things like that. So now that we have our companies, our first actual step, because that was step 0.
Wow.
Step 1 is to choose a playbook, and thankfully I think we already have an idea of who we are going to be. And again, for those who weren't here or weren't listening, the playbooks are your character classes, and I'll just go over those briefly. We have the driver, who can plug her brain into a car and roar off and kind of really become the car. They're the getaway driver in all of our missions. We have the fixer, who hooks people up with gear, jobs, friends in trouble. So I know somebody who knows somebody kind of a person. And then we have the hacker, pretty self-explanatory. You can break into security systems, hack into drones, and get the files, the secret encrypted stuff, all that good stuff. We have the hunter, who can search the streets for whoever needs finding. So if somebody's kidnapped, the hunter's probably the person to go to find that person. The infiltrator is a master of getting into secure places and doing bad things there. So they are our espionage. They're basically Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, so keep that in mind. We have the killer, who uses bleeding edge technology to commit violence. So these are the people who are probably like not all there in the head, probably have a lot of cybernetic implants and crazy guns and knives. That's pretty cool. We have the pusher, who wants to change the world one mind at a time. So they're an idea person. They're very charismatic probably. They know how to tap into people's minds. And honestly, they might be a sociopath. We have the reporter, who uncovers the truth and exposes the guilty. So they're the ones who are always looking for the scoop, and maybe they tend to care more than other people do in this cyberpunk world. We have the soldier, and this one's a little bit tricky. This one always throws me off, because soldier, you always think like, oh, they're like the fighter.
Right.
They're the warrior in this thing. Well, a soldier in this is more like they plan and oversee everything. They are the person who does most of the work during like the mission planning phase. So they know when things need to happen and what order things need to happen in. And then finally we have the tech. And the tech is the master of gear, building, fixing, and breaking it. So they're the one you go to if you want to modify stuff, you want to buy new pieces, and invest in new hardware, essentially. And does anybody know what they want to be off the top of their head? We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, just for the sake of streamlining this.
Well, you said sociopath, and I may or may not identify with that. So I think
Joey's ears perked up. So
think
you're thinking you want to be a pusher. What about the pusher appeals to you? For those who don't know you.
I think the idea of being the one to communicate and disseminate ideology, being strong-willed about what you think is right, not really having that many emotions, but being able to manipulate people.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And then we'll kind of go deep dive in that in just a little bit. But does anybody else know what they want to be?
I was going to be a hunter.
A hunter? Okay. What about the hunter appeals to you, Coral?
I like that the hunter is an outsider everywhere, but still knows the inside details.
I know that.
Now,
are you like a Dog the Bounty Hunter type, or are you more cool?
No, I'm cool.
So no mullet?
No mullet for me. You gotta blend in. I can't be rocking that kind of look.
Well, I mean, if we're going with like the 80s cyberpunk, a mullet definitely fits
might.
in there. Aaron, Jason, any ideas?
What do you want to be, Aaron?
I'm actually stuck between two.
What are you stuck in between two?
I'm stuck in between the infiltrator or the reporter.
Okay.
Those are the two that kind of felt like I could relate to or get into character most of, and I still don't know, so I wanted to talk about it amongst ourselves, kind of help me figure out which one today I could pick and be.
Okay, let's keep that in mind, because let's see what Jay wants to be, and from there that can help decide what your roles are. Because again, keep in mind, you guys are going to be doing missions together. So if you need to steal something, it might be harder without a hacker. But that being said, that means every time you go to hit the streets to try and find someone, every mission you're going to have to try and find a hacker or a driver, or a getaway driver. So you can be whoever you want. Just keep in mind you're going to have to search for people who maybe specialize in something.
Right.
So infiltrator or reporter. What about you, Jay? Any ideas?
Killer?
You want to be the killer? What about the killer appeals to you?
The violence?
Do you think your character is more of like the touting guns and knives type, or more of like the cybernetic implants, like I can crush your head, your skull with my hand?
He has implants, but he didn't want to get them.
Oh, okay, I like that. Well, we'll dive into that a little bit later then. So we have a killer, we have a hunter, and a pusher. So what do you guys think? A reporter? I think a reporter and a pusher would probably be a good pairing, in that the reporter's trying to document maybe like the rising fame of whoever Joey's character is, or maybe you're chronicling another unrelated story. But I think you two would mesh well together. The hunter and killer, well, the hunter's like pretty much a vital aspect.
That's like perfect for a mission. It's always a hunter
and
killer.
Killer's great too, because you know someone's always going to need killing.
So you can destroy.
Yeah.
So again, it's up to you at this point, Aaron. What do you guys think, though? Is there anything that you think one would help as opposed to the other? Do you think an infiltrator would be better than a reporter, or vice versa?
That espionage, trying to get in places and figure stuff out.
So
do we already have that?
I think that's a little, like that's more similar to a hunter than a reporter, but both would work. I think the reporter could be really interesting. The
infiltrator definitely specializes in like opening up areas, and then you could like lead the way in for a killer. But that being said, it'd be really cool to have this reporting side of the storytelling. So reporter?
Okay.
Cool.
If we think that would work best collectively and like together and stuff, then yeah.
Cool.
Why don't you be happy, baby?
Just team player.
Perfect. So Aaron is the reporter. So just another. We'll report back on all this. So Joey is the pusher. Aaron.
What are you?
I'm the master of ceremonies. I am like the person who tries to tie the stories together. I don't really. I'm like every character you guys aren't.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Aaron is the reporter. Coral is the hunter, and Jason is the killer. So now we go into the process of naming and describing characters. So I think we should start with Jay, because he seemed to have a little bit of something when he mentioned the killer. So, Jay, who is this killer? And you guys take this time to start thinking about it too, but feel free to suggest ideas if you hear something that resonates with you from anybody else's character.
His name is Fred.
Fred?
We don't know his last name
Okay.
yet.
Does they know him on the street as Fred?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Fred?
Yeah.
Fred gets the job done.
Right.
Cool. Describe his look? Describe his little personal origin story if you can.
He wears glasses and he has a beard.
I'm sensing that you're projecting a little there. Are you him? You're Fred? Fred looks like you?
I was supposed to be born a twin.
Uh-huh.
That didn't happen.
So you're thinking Fred is this twin of yours?
That's my
I like that. Fred looks like Jason. Now I gotta ask, like, are these glasses of his built into his body? Does he have like retractable glasses that pop up?
Like Geordie LaForge?
I don't know what Geordie LaForge. Oh yeah, I know it is. Star Trek. Yes, I know.
Nick.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Does he have the ability to retract them? Does Fred have the ability to retract them? Or
He
are they
doesn't have
always
eyes.
on?
His eyes are gone. He doesn't have any eyes.
Eyes are gone. Why are his eyes gone?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know either. He doesn't. He has a lot of injuries. He's missing a lot of stuff. He doesn't know why.
limbs
Yeah.
And organs and
Well,
stuff like that.
he has a gray goo leg. that
Go
had-
into that. What is that?
He has a frequency emitter on his thigh that keeps his leg intact, but it's made of gray goo.
I like that. That's really cool.
Or whatever we make that nanobot desert called.
I like a gray goo leg. I like the idea. Like a gray goo tourniquet almost.
Like the missing eye.
Gray goo tourniquet.
Like I said, I could watch Nick type all day.
A gray goo tourniquet that prevents the goo from overtaking his body. That's awesome. That's really cool. Does he have any identifying features, tattoos, any noticeable cybernetic implants aside from the leg? Does he have like flesh on the other end of the leg, or is it like?
I read in the thing that they could have like synthetic skin.
Okay, so his is no skin and just like synthetic weave.
I like that, like a carbon fiber weave or something.
I like that, carbon fiber skin. Fiber skin. Cool. Any other like? So he doesn't know how he sustained all those injuries.
Yeah, he's got a lot of injuries, and he's
Amnesia.
trying to figure that all out. He's trying to figure out his place in the world.
Amnesia surrounding his injuries and replace body essentially, right? Why is he a killer? Like why is that the role for him? Why is that the ideal job for him?
He's pretty upset. He's pretty mad. He just stays pretty mad.
Angry at the fact that
He doesn't have a
does
body.
he hate that he looks the way he does?
He doesn't like robots. He doesn't like androids. He doesn't like automatons. He doesn't like any of that.
So if he met like an actual android or robot,
He'd kill him.
He'd be oppressed. Like he would be
He'd kill
prejudiced
him.
towards them.
He'd kill him, Nick.
All right, I like that. Prejudice towards robotic androids. Cool, I'm into that. How does he feel about his overall appearance? Does he hate? Because he's basically like an android too, or cyborg. Does he hate that about himself, maybe?
Yeah, and he tries not to.
He's
He doesn't like his reflection.
Self-hate.
Don't read anything into that. That doesn't mean anything.
Avoids reflection because it serves as a reminder to his inhumanity.
Wow, Nick, like you're some kind of writer or something.
I like that. Any other details about him? Does he have any, like, instead of like a tattoo, because obviously he doesn't have any skin, but
They can change.
does he have like a diamond etch that he can like?
Like you can change him. You ever seen that? I don't know. There was like a show where this dude, doesn't matter, but he was chasing demons, and he had all these tattoos, and then they would disappear as he would catch them.
So he maybe has a way of like detecting. Maybe he has some sort of built-in radar or something.
Yeah, spidey sense, like some kind of.
Okay.
Maybe he beeps like not beeps.
Like an enhanced
like
nerve
flash,
system.
like flashing.
I like that.
I like that.
I'm trying to think of another question, just because the character's pretty crazy. How long has he been in the business? Is he relatively new? Is he good? Well, he's obviously good.
He's
a
really good.
professional. All of you guys are professionals.
He's
But
the best.
He's the best. The go-to killer. The go-to killer / hitman. I like that. Cool. Fred. So I'm
Fred.
probably going to refer to you as Fred, and so throughout when we actually start playing missions.
Spell it with dots in between.
F. Oh, okay. Got it. That's cool. I like the way Jason spells.
Oh yeah, I like that.
You can
Yeah, I
think
like
of what
that
that
too.
stands for later.
Yeah.
Cool, Jason.
Let me see. So Fred. Anybody else have any ideas for characters?
Still working on it.
That's okay. No worries.
I can go.
Coral.
My character's name is Nico Hinge.
Mm.
That's
Nico
cool.
Hinge.
Most people just call me Hinge these days.
With a Y?
No.
On the streets.
I like that answer.
What is Nico Hinge?
Well,
look
she
like?
originally was a corporate spy. Kind of had an upper class life. She knows how to be prim, proper, pretty mild-mannered. But after she got involved in some underground political stuff, she was completely blacklisted as a corporate spy. And now she's a freelancer on the street, and you know, she's not making nearly as much as she used to. She's not living to the quality of life she's wanted, and she's lost a lot of her connections, a lot of her friends.
I like that. Not living the life she used to. Lost connections to contacts. By chance, would you happen to know, is one of the companies she used to work for one of the ones we've named, or maybe an unnamed?
Yeah, it was a Vitacor.
It was
She
Vitacor.
was a Vitacor corporate spy.
Vitacor. Let me just write that down.
Damn Zaibatsus.
Right. Yeah, man, they control everything.
And that was she has Cyber Eyes
Cyber Eyes.
that she was kind of given as a part of that job.
Mm.
And once she was ousted, she needed to spend pretty much all of her savings with like a biohacker to kind of remove those connections. 'Cause she wanted to keep those Cyber Eyes, but she didn't want them to be traced. She didn't want anything she saw or any information she gathered that way to be able to be traced back to her former employer. So she lost a lot of her savings just getting
Lost
those Cyber Eyes
lost
hacked back.
information associated with her time at Vitacor as a spy. So she, just to be clear though, she can still use like the aspects of the
They're
Cyber
functional. She just needed someone to break the connection.
So she wiped
essentially.
them.
Yeah.
Okay, a broken connection. So she didn't lose all of her contacts. She definitely
No,
knows
there's still
people
some
on the
people. It's just
streets.
like her social circle was a higher class corporate kind of social circle, and she's been ostracized from that. She still has some friends maybe, and she had other people she knew from other walks of life, but that comfortable life has been taken.
And she longs to get back to that like
Maybe.
status she had.
Yeah, she's kind of trying to figure that out. It's been a few years. She's realized the flaws in being maybe a corporate spy, but she's not used to this difficult of a life.
Okay. One thing I forgot to ask Jay as well, but like Nico, what kind of name is that? Is that like, is there
It's a
Russian?
Russian,
Russian.
yeah.
So she's Russian. Got it. I'm sorry. In between. I'm at a blank for words.
Chips Ahoy!
Yeah, there you go. In between living a life of luxury and poverty, unsure about the future. Russian. I'm gonna put that up top.
Hey guys, what's going on in here?
Hey!
What are you guys doing?
Just playing some games.
Oh!
What's up?
Oh, cool. I just
Hey, that's a nice shot, Myra.
I realize he was
I used to
holding a
see
camera.
like what are these pieces of paper in front of you?
These are the playbooks. These are the character classes in
characters
Synth.Test.
for what's I'm sorry, for what?
Synth.Test, our
Oh.
RPG show.
Oh,
It's the
cool.
one that
So
the-
everybody who's playing gets to
Uh-huh.
make one of these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know
Because
what?
I 5 seats, 5 people.
Did you want to play?
No, no, I get it. I'm glad you guys are.
You can definitely be a guest at some
I'm-
point.
Cool, thank
We
you.
can work you in.
Oh, that's
But
very
you're just
sweet.
always so busy. You're always so busy doing work.
Yeah, no,
You don't
I'm-
have time to play,
I'm
right?
really good. Oh, there's a whole bunch of sheets on
We
the
could
ground.
use a
like,
hacker.
Almost like anybody could play.
A hacker.
There's so
We could
many
use
sheets.
anything.
Are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm really
But
glad. And
Good to see you, Kevin.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
great,
good to see
Thanks
you.
for stopping by.
great to
Yeah.
be seen.
Yeah, of course.
Jason's playing too.
Yeah.
Jason,
Yeah,
Jason
Jason's
gets
here.
to
Jason's
play.
great. He has an
Yeah.
awesome character.
Oh, I
he
can't
has
wait
a really
to
good. Yeah.
hear all about it.
You should watch sometime.
Ooh.
Back to Nico.
Yeah.
So why do you think she was a hunter? Why did she choose to be because of her ties to Vitacor, I'm assuming? Like
Yeah, it was-
she's good at what she does.
Yes, she was
But-
essentially a hunter.
Why didn't she change professions though?
That's her skill set. That's how she needed to adapt to a whole new space, and that's what she knows how to do. She knows how to find people. She knows how to get information out of people. She knows how to go around unseen.
So she does what she knows best.
Hmm.
Stealthy. Cool. I'm into that. Jay, real quick, what is Fred? Is he Irish, European of some sort? Like, is he what?
He could be Irish.
Does he not know?
He doesn't know. He has an indeterminate accent.
Indeterminate accent. Are you able to do an indeterminate accent? Because I would really like it.
Yeah.
I like Irish too.
Mm.
I want to hear an Irish.
That's
joke.
indeterminate. It could be.
You're good at that.
I'll put Irish question mark.
Yeah. Spell it with a question mark.
The English.
I'd love it if
It
you
could
guys did
slip it
voices.
out,
That'd
yeah.
be really
Fun.
cool. Cool. Any other like identifying features about Nico? Like, does
Love
she have
it.
any tattoos? What color's her hair?
She's generally pretty nondescript, just because that's
She
kind of what she
blends in.
had to be. Yeah.
I like that. Blends in. What's her fashion sense?
Pretty.
Again, blends in. Whatever
Blends
she needs
in.
to be.
Yeah,
What
big
about if it's
coat, just a big.
A
coat.
big coat.
Big
Love
Like
that.
an unflattering coat? Like just a big bulky ass coat?
It's not bulky. It's long. It's just long.
Like trench coat.
Mm.
Blends in.
It's not bulky. It's a big, long bubble coat.
Trench coat.
Puffer jacket.
Any other details about her? Aside from the cyber eyes, again, we could flesh out more
Yeah.
like cybernetic enhancements, but
I
anything
think,
else
I think
you
that
stands out?
covers it.
Jay, real quick, what's Fred's fashion sense? Is he dressed like you? Is he a punker?
Yeah.
I like that.
Makes it easy.
It looks cool.
Cyberpunk.
Play on words. Punker. Cool. Joey, Coral, or Aaron? I looked at Coral. Sorry. Joey, Aaron.
Yeah, Alex.
Oh no. That's the worst insult Joey's ever said. I'm just kidding.
My character's name is Tango. Tango Malvo.
Oh, that's a cool name. That's a
Sitting on
badass
a last
name.
name over here. I'm just like, what's the last name? What's
They,
the last name? That's
They normally just
amazing.
call me TM though.
TM.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
TM on the streets.
And online.
Like
that's
trademark?
that's where most people know about me. Yeah, good job picking up on that.
Tango Malvo. I love that.
Yeah, they call me TM online. I was there pretty early, and my actually it was my great grandfather. He took the name back when you can still have two character names, so it's been like a generational thing.
Okay. Grandfather had two names. Tango grandfathered in. I'm gonna put that in quotes because that's funny.
Man, that typing is just amazing.
Is it because I'm slow?
No, I'm seriously enjoying it.
Yeah, okay. So tell me a little more
It's
about
probably the
yourself.
defining feature of what I like about this.
Thanks, Jay.
Tango is one of the last of a middle class generation. One of the last few that exists as it becomes more split, and he craves vertical mobility because his family was always edging on the lower class, and he always thought that he and they deserved more.
Did he despise the fact that they were like middle class?
No, but he recognized the fact that it was a dying subsect of humanity, and he didn't want to fall into the lower because he thought of himself as the upper. And he always fought 4 people who were in the lower class.
4 people?
I'm sorry?
4 people or more than 4?
4 as in like
FOR.
Oh,
FOR.
4 people.
Yeah.
Continue.
So a champion of like the downtrodden, essentially.
Yes, he was the champion of the downtrodden. But really, he was always just kind of using those people to elevate himself.
So do you think like he kind of got off essentially on being a social justice warrior type, like a white knight?
Not getting off on being a white knight, but definitely seeing its value as a tool for manipulation.
So white knight for the sake of manipulation. I like that. Championing
the lower class while like actively seeking to escape them.
So I feel like there's definitely a little bit of like resentment almost. Like he doesn't express it, but I think like what do you think? Does he deep down like maybe not like them?
There's resentment for them because he doesn't respect them.
Much respect for those he protects.
They're just all stepping stones.
What happened to his family?
They still exist. They function. They're working class. They're slowly. They gave everything they did to their children. All 4 of them.
Does his family maybe work for some of the megacorps, or are they like not even? Because the megacorps only want the best, and they're probably not.
They're not the best. They hustle for everything that they can, really.
So they're street side. Family of hustlers.
And savvy.
I like that. What does Tango look like? Is Tango a given name or a street name?
Tango is his given name. He despises. He feels the need to look downtrodden because he feels that his image isn't worthwhile if he's preppy or put together. So really his opinion is, or his dress is based on the character that he's trying to portray to the people he's trying to manipulate, which is like them.
I like that. Image is not worthwhile. I'm sorry, what was that sentence again? I really like that. Image is not worthwhile for what?
I don't know what the fuck I said.
Replay it. Play it back.
Image is
not
he's not obsessed with his appearance. He feels the need to mirror the appearance of those he's championing. Champion of.
Those
Sorry.
champions.
Yeah.
I like that. So he uses it as another bargaining chip, essentially.
A tool to blend in and be like, I'm no different than you.
Is another tool
I don't have fancy clothes.
to appeal to.
I have cool
those
sunglasses.
he wants to
True.
use. Are they inset? Are they built into his body?
No, I can take them off.
Wow, that must be nice.
Very bright.
Regularly wears glasses. Regularly wears sunglasses. Removable.
That is a nice looking paragraph.
It's a lot, but this is just for the sake of me like notating stuff so that I can work it into the story. And also another thing that I forgot to ask Jay and Coral, if you have like people that you maybe like, oh, who sold you out at Vitacore? Or Jay, I know your character has mostly amnesia, but is there something that's vital to him? Like, why does he exist sort of thing? Like, why does he continue living day to day if he hates himself? What's his motivation kind of thing?
He really likes cheese.
I think this is just you, Jay.
But cheese is hard to find in this world.
Does he know somebody who has cheese?
He has to kill a lot of people to get cheese.
Cool. Cool.
I know that it was someone at a rival company whose career I had wrecked that came for me, but I don't know who it was.
Rival's life was wrecked. But that's all she knows. Cool. Are there any other back to Tango? Are there any other like pieces of information about him? Does he have any other identifying features? Is he an Irishman? Is he?
He better not be.
He has a mole on his left earlobe. It's slightly discolored, and people who follow him will put that beauty mark on their earlobe to kind of identify that they're in alignment.
So he already has followers.
Yes, he's been building them.
For Sheezy, he was about to say.
Has established following. Does he have are his followers called anything? Followers that identify themselves via the same.
You hear that typing? Listen to the cadence of that. It's great.
You like typing so much.
I like that.
I could listen
that's
to Nick
cool.
type all day.
Is that something that's natural on him though?
Yes, it's natural on him, but other people imitate it.
Why did that become like his identifying feature?
It's a prominent on him. You notice it when you see it about him. His earlobe's discolored.
Is it like big?
It's not larger. It's just discolored.
Okay.
Any hairs?
Like what color's Tango's hair?
His hair?
Uh-huh.
Mole hair.
It's not a mole. It's more of a birthmark.
Oh,
Birthmark. Okay,
Sorry.
I'll change that.
Um,
What shape is it? If you don't mind me asking.
I mean, it
Just a
encompasses
nondescript
his it encompasses his earlobe.
Oh, it's the entire so it's entirely got it.
Not his ear, his earlobe.
Earlobe. Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Come on,
I get
listen,
you.
Nick. You were doing good before.
I'm into that. Oh yeah, good idea. Sorry.
That was what
You
I
were
was
saying you should
hinting
get
at,
your
Coral.
birthmark checked because melanoma is a killer.
It is, but I mean, you're not normally born with melanoma.
Any other identifying features or any other details about Tango that we need to know of? Like why is Tango a pusher? It seems like the natural thing.
Yeah, I mean, talking to people has always come easy to him.
How does he? Is he charismatic, like charming, or is he more like intimidating? But he knows how to get people to do what he wants by just kind of suggesting it to them menacingly. Or is he a people person? For sure?
He's not a one-trick pony. He recognizes what people need in order to be manipulated. So that might call for force. That might call for charm. It's not always the same.
Mentality.
Adaptable.
Charm is adaptable.
Strong interpersonal communication.
Clear communicator. Cool. I'm into that. It is just for the sake of having like a set group of people, like different identifying ethnicities. Well, what is Tango Malvo?
He's an American.
American.
Yeah, from the city.
Question real quick. Is America still a place in this world? I feel like there's a nuclear war in our history.
He's from the
somewhere.
West.
Yeah.
He's from the West.
He's Western.
He can be American. I was just asking as a general like world building. Like, what does the rest of the world look like here? Just to give Aaron a little more time too.
We're all gonna help me put this together.
No, yeah, by all means, that's what we're here for.
So I'm also listening.
What?
Somebody's laugh.
Western. Cool. Anything else from
Cabezón.
Tango?
Is there anything else that I need to identify? Something that I haven't?
No. Any other, like, does he have any synthetic implants of some sort? Tattoos?
He does have some implants, but he actively tries to hide them because he understands that the people who look up to him don't have any.
Hides.
So he doesn't flaunt them, but he recognizes their value.
Cool. I'm into that. All right, Aaron.
Oh boy. So we're all gonna help me put this together.
Yeah.
Because I just became a reporter, so I'm still trying to figure out my backstory.
Yeah, you're fine.
The only thing I know is that it's a woman. Her name is Natasha. I call her Nat. And I just can't. I have multiple ideas for a last name just because I always think of a bunch of names.
You don't have to decide that
Really?
right now, too, because
Okay.
maybe nobody needs to know her. She is
true.
a professional after all, so why would they need to
true.
know her last name?
Because it sounds cool. Because her whole name sounds cool.
Well, we can figure that out later.
That's true.
To buy ourselves some time.
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
It might help too if we know her ethnicity. We might be able to suggest.
I think she's English.
English.
Like European of some sort, right? English. I think English.
Oh, man,
with
what are,
like What?
Like British English.
British English.
But like,
yeah.
what are like British last names?
Well, I thought
Smith.
Like, I don't know. I thought Natasha Spencer or Natasha Humphreys or like.
I like Humphreys.
You like Humphreys? Is that? I don't even know if that's English. I was like, I think I should
it's
look up
in English.
Sounds English.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
Help me out with this. What else?
Humphreys, Humphrys.
You like Humphreys?
I like it.
So be Nat Humphreys. You call him Nat. Okay.
I like that.
What reporting have you typically done? Have you done like deep dive investigative stuff? Have you done more like gossip, celeb culture?
I think she tends to go off the beaten path. Like she will do anything to get a story. So I think she will get off.
She wants
Is that
to
more
break.
deep
She
dive?
wants to like break a story. She wants to be the person that figured it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
people. She'll do things and go places where people don't want to go. I think, in that realm of like of trying to find the story that she wants to tell. I think it's more for good than for, or something that could benefit her, more so benefit her and within her job or benefit her with whoever ties she has with whomever. Like if you said if we're connected in any way, then that would definitely be. That would help out the two of them, but mostly I think that she tries to break stories for good, like for the good, in order to like, I'll be like, if it was a pharmaceutical thing, they were the ones who did the Grey Goo, like that's the big mystery, but like that would be the biggest thing to report, but then that would be really
she's
bad
trying
at the
to
same time.
maybe is that like maybe her ultimate goal, because that's a pretty serious like
but something like that, you know what I mean?
environmental disaster,
Yeah,
so
but
she
that would be a
wants to-
big deal, and then she'd have to think about, well, is it worth it? Because my job is on the line, you know what I mean? But
who does she work for?
shit, I don't know.
Does she work for Unilux? Does she work for another? Because obviously, like even though Gunger, Vitacor, Teat, and Smile might not be like in their like at a glance, this is what they do. Keep in mind these are huge mega corporations. They're basically governments. So
like
each of these is going to have a PR company.
So she would work for one of these.
Probably. Or a different company we didn't name. Again, we can figure that out later. But keep in mind, she doesn't have to work for Unilux. She could work for any of these companies because every single company has a PR company. And she could be reporting for that. Or maybe she got her first gig through one of these companies and that turned into field reporting. Maybe she has her own blog online. That sort of thing.
So she's a blogger. I think for a big media outlet, for the type of stuff that she would want to do.
Do you think Unilux? Maybe that's one of her biggest sources of like conflict, is that since Unilux controls everything, they know everything that's happening. So when she starts to like snoop around a story that maybe they don't feel comfortable with her snooping around, they kind of try and push her away from it. And she's like, something's up here. She's smart, obviously.
She has to work for somewhere, I think, that she's able to get the stories that she can get and the information that she can get. So would that be someplace like Unilux?
Like somewhere powerful that can get her access?
Yeah.
That might be Unilux. And then, like Nick said, that could be your conflict, is like sometimes they try to censor you. They can get you where you need to go, but they might not want you to tell the story.
Okay.
When you push the story to your editor, they're like, no.
Totally. I think she also like worked her way up, definitely, to get that position, thinking that maybe it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. She thought maybe I could tell these great stories and, you know, break the truth. And there's a lot of politics and crap within all of that.
Damn Zeus.
Thought reporting would be glamorous.
Yeah.
Realized it wasn't. How did she get into reporting?
That's what I was thinking about this whole time.
Okay, we can do that part later. What does she look like? Does she have any noticeable so does she do like what kind of reporting does she do? Is she just a straight up like interviewer? Is she a photojournalist, a video journalist?
I think interviewer. I don't think she's afraid to really talk to people. So she'll talk to whoever she needs to talk to get what she needs.
So she's good with words.
She's good with words and good with people, I think.
People
I think she
person.
makes people feel comfortable. She's probably charismatic in a way.
She's kind then.
Huh?
Is she kind?
Yes, but cunning. Does that work?
Mhm.
Okay.
Does she have any sort of like I'm thinking if you're like a journalist in like a cyberpunk world, does she have like a built-in mic somewhere in her body? Does she have a built-in, like, are her eyes...
cyberpunking. Oh my god, yes. I was just thinking on these levels, okay.
Is she able to record things with cyber
I think
eyes?
she has something in her ear.
Cyber ears?
They do.
Cyber
There's
ears?
cyber ears, yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe like
That
a
whatever she
transceiver and a
hears
receiver.
and whatever she
Gets
can...
recorded.
Yeah, it gets recorded. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Is she able to edit stuff on the fly? Like
Yes.
if someone
In
says...
her brain. Like, it's connected to her brain, so whatever she can hear, she can visualize, but also edit it, and all she has to do is just listen and be present, because it's in her ear.
And editing. What about video work? Because obviously, I feel like in a world of like growing technology, there's always videos like going to be the most prominent thing. Does she carry around a camera, or does she have that built in somewhere?
Don't you have cyber eyes? Mm-hmm. What if that's a big thing within it, or is that something that you were given?
You can have in this world. Everyone has, almost everyone has cyber. If someone doesn't have cyber eyes, that's like, oh, that's unusual.
Sorry, the chat behind you has the kid at the ears.
Is that alfalfa? Yeah.
Yeah, it's alfalfa.
Even has some ideas too, like, yeah, you have cyber eyes, cyber ears, cyber.
Oh, cyber!
Comms.
Look at that.
You have cyber comms if you want. Neural.
What's
interface.
cyber comms?
So you probably the ability to communicate with like someone back at your agency, or
Yeah, or
Maybe-
she can jam signals and do
It says
satellite
choose
relay
one.
via.
So I chose cyber ears.
yeah. But again, we can add more stuff later.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, I don't know. Would it be? I feel like she's more of a writing, like a journalist, like more of that, not visual. Do a lot of people get visual? Like, I don't know,
up
like
to you.
videos and stuff.
if she's a writer, she's a damn good one.
She has glasses. What if they're in her glasses?
The recorders, that could work.
We capture both at the same time.
Glasses that record. Cool. What about her physical appearance? Does she hide her technology? Is it discreet? Is it very
it's
obvious?
hidden.
It's hidden.
It's hidden, I think, within the glasses.
Hidden tech. What color's her hair?
Dark, probably black or dark brown.
Hair.
It's like shoulder length.
Is there any other like special details about her that you maybe are still like trying to work out?
She's like a linguist. She could speak multiple languages.
What
that
languages?
includes. Maybe that has something to do with like a nanochip in her brain that she can speak pretty much anything. And she can speak to like bots and stuff, like different like she can speak in order through like machines and shit.
So she maybe has
know.
like
that
the
make
ability
sense?
to have not necessarily conversations with like computers, but she
Complete
can
sense.
basically
Yeah.
program by plugging in or something. Maybe?
I think that's part of her like how she got to where she is, was she was able to learn languages quicker. It's something built in with her ear, or like it can translate, but then she can pick up. She knows language very well.
One thing that exists in this world is like the ability, like slots in the back of your head or behind your ear, where you can slot in things you might not know. So, say you didn't know Japanese, you can buy a microchip that once you implant it, you suddenly know every
be
dialect
like
of
that.
Japanese
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, does she already have an established set languages or chips that she has?
Yes, but
What languages would those be?
I feel
So
like
we
it'd be
already have
everything.
Coding.
Like, wouldn't it be
Well,
everything?
she can't hold everything though, because that would be a lot of chips. She'd probably go crazy from all
Oh, if
that
it's a
tech in
chip?
her head.
Okay.
I'd say probably like 2 to 3. So aside from English.
Oh, I don't know. But she can also understand and pick up languages in general.
Yes, that's good. Picks up languages natively. I'm thinking because it doesn't really matter what chip she starts with, because she can always buy, if you're like, oh, this person speaks German, none of us speak German, she can just go buy a German chip and
Yeah.
learn it.
Change it in and out, like cassette tape.
So let's get back to why she wanted to become a reporter. How did that happen?
That I'm still trying to figure out.
Is she did she always want to be a reporter growing up, or did she maybe like
I feel
realize?
like she kind of realized or fell into it somehow, or realized that maybe somewhere along the way she realized something that she was doing in her life wasn't what she wanted, or something happened to her in her past that made her be like, that's
Maybe she was at the center of a story.
something, yeah,
and-
and it was told wrong, or and then it changed over into it made her be like, I don't, that's, it put a fire under her ass, so she's like, I want to tell the right story. I don't want that to happen.
So maybe she was in a story, like Coral suggested, but it painted her or maybe her family in a negative light, and so maybe that caused her to be like, I want stories to be told the way they should be, and like objective, like just I'm presenting the information.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because like in an age of like all these news corporations, they're all putting a lot of spin on the news. They're not exactly.
They are. And I think that's where the conflict can come from, is it's her, she's worked her way up to a point of like where she is respected and she is able to do her job well, but her boss or whoever the corporation does get in the way of her
Damn Saibatsus.
Yeah. Of her telling the right thing all the time. So.
The right thing? Like the good
doing
thing?
the good
or is
thing,
it
or sometimes she has to.
Is she an objective reporter, or does she try to put a positive spin on things?
I think objective.
She's objective.
Yeah.
So even if it's a story that results in maybe a person who's less like well off, that they end up getting like put behind bars or killed, as long as it's her being objective, she's willing to do that, even though they might be like looking to help her, or she's looking to help them. Like she feels sorry for these people. Is she willing to be objective that it might actually hurt these people?
Like you're saying that if she were to tell a story and if it were to hurt somebody, she doesn't care as long as it's telling the right thing?
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like her.
Objective reporter.
It's not an easy, all happy-go-lucky job. I don't think it's like something that could be easy in general, but I also don't think it's something that's like, well, shit's gotta suck sometime.
Especially if she works for Unilux too, because they might be like, no, you should be positive.
Yeah.
We want people to not realize the world is in
Right.
chaos.
Totally.
We want to keep them, doped up. Cool. I'm into that. All right, and now we get to the part where we have to assign stats. And normally that's the most boring part of any RPG, but thankfully in this game it's super easy. So what you do in this is step 3. You assign the following numbers to the 6 stats. The stats are style, edge, cool, mind, meat, and synth. You get a +2, a +1, a +1, a 0, another 0, and a -1. And each playbook has 1 or 2 stats that are more important because they're used for certain basic and playbook moves that are like central to the playbook. So certain classes rely on certain stats more than others. In your playbook, it'll actually indicate like, hey, you should probably put a +2 or a +1 in this stat. So once you guys have done that, let me know what you've done.
I don't know what any of these mean. What is style and meat and mind? And are they on here? Am I missing them?
No.
Here, I'll go over those real quick. You guys continue looking over that, and actually I'll go over all these stats for you. Sorry about that, I forgot that part.
Nick.
So, unlike a lot of traditional like Dungeons and Dragons RPGs, there's usually like strength, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, all that. This is the sprawl. This is cool. It gets rid of all that
What's
like number heavy stuff. This is, I'm sorry?
I'm got confused.
This is called the sprawl.
Okay, sorry. Keep going. I jumped
But
again.
in the sprawl, your 6 stats are cool, which is what you use to remain calm and focused in stressful situations. You have edge, which you use to draw on your street smarts and experience or give the impression that you're a badass. Meat is where you use your physical talents without the aid of cyberware to overcome a problem. So if you want to beat somebody up, you'll roll your meat stat. You have mind, and that's to think your way out of a problem through logic, instinct, creativity, or any other mental process. There's style, which you use to handle situations with charisma, presence, or nerve. And then you have synth, which you can use to interface seamlessly with technology. And the thing that's cool about synth is if you have a stat that might be lower, you can actually use your synth ability to kind of override the fact that you might be bad at that, like I can't talk. You might be bad at that particular thing natively.
Championing.
But you use this technology to kind of overcome that weakness. So like take Joey for example. He's a pusher. He would probably apply his biggest bonuses to mind and style because that's what his character is. But again, that's up to you.
His would be meat. Jason's would be meat.
He'd probably be meat and synth.
That's what I was thinking in my head.
Or cool too. Again, this is your character. You shouldn't try to optimize and be
Nah, I'm a hothead.
Cool. You should apply the stats to what you think your character is actually like.
What's the difference between mind and style again?
Style is more about handling a situation with charisma and charm, and the ability to be like disarm a bomb. Disarm a bomb in like a high stress situation. Or no, that'd be cool. It's more so talking to people and like getting them to do what you want. Whereas mind is a way of like, you figure out the master plan and you know how people operate because you've been studying their like patrol routes and stuff like that. So you roll mind to do something associated with that sort of thing. What's that?
What's
Aaron?
edge?
Edge is what you use to draw on your street smarts and experience or give the impression that you're a badass. So maybe to intimidate somebody, you would roll edge.
And then mind is what again?
Mind is to think your way out of a problem through logic, instinct, creativity, or any other mental process. And then once we actually like get into the groove of things with the actual show, which will air on Twitch, we'll have all these like character sheets up for everyone watching to reference and be like, oh, cool, that's who this character is and this is what they're good at. But that being said, I'll take this moment since Aaron and Jay are still working. I want to thank everyone. I think we all want to thank you guys for for help making this show a reality.
PTSD, that's real PTSD.
You guys pushed us over the edge on Patreon, so again, thank you for letting us do something like this. This is really cool. This is something we kind of always wanted to do.
There's a -1?
Yeah, -1. You gotta be bad at something.
Never
It's gotta be your weakness.
Meat. I'd be probably bad at meat.
What is that, Aaron?
Discord that to me at Leaf Eater.
I can't even escape that. Because I couldn't kick ass, right? What is cool again?
Cool is your ability to remain calm and focused in a stressful situation. Something that a reporter probably would need if it's like a war-torn area. So if there's bombs dropping all around her, but she's still there to get the story, she'd probably use her cool to stay calm.
This is so hard.
Well, what is it? What is it to
If you can just send that to at Leaf Eater on Discord, appreciate that.
You're setting yourself up for this, Aaron. What does it say on your playbook to assign the highest numbers to?
Edge in mind.
You can do that.
Where does it say that actually on your book? Oh,
It's right.
It's style and
Little
edge
paragraph
should
right
be-
next to all those
your
little
style and edge
characters
should be
there.
+1 or +2. Oh, well, I didn't listen to that.
What'd you pick, Joey?
Style and mind.
Style and mind were your +2 and 1?
That'll probably help for the way you.
Cool.
What
How
is? Oh man, I'm gonna keep asking you over and
That's
over.
okay.
What's cool? Wait, no, you just told me what's.
What time is it?
Think of it like more like if somebody says be cool,
The worst
like
person
stay
to
cool,
choose for this. Okay.
or use your edge.
Style is that clothing?
That's your charisma.
It can be your clothing too. It's
But
your
mind
presence.
is to use your brain to get out of situations. Style is your presence.
Your charisma, your presence, how you present yourself.
Edge is what again?
Edge is using your street smarts and experience to give you the impression that you're a badass. So again, if you want to like use your edge to intimidate someone.
Okay.
But it makes sense for like a reporter. Maybe she has a -1 in the meat category because she might not be
-1.
the strongest one.
I'm gonna do that. I did the wrong thing. -1. Synth is the overriding thing.
Synth is what you use. So say as a reporter, you might be naturally weak, right? You haven't been lifting weights every day. But if you had cybernetic arms with like a pneumatic piston, you might want to consider investing in synth, because then you could use your synth instead of your meat to beat somebody up.
What?
Because you're using your technology. Because what does technology do in this world? It makes up for the fact that you're human. What about you, Cole? What did you choose?
My +2 is for edge. Then I have 2 +1s, so I put that with synth and cool. My mind and style are 0, and meat is -1.
So you're a little bit of a weakling.
Yeah.
That's okay. How about you, Jay?
I did the +2 on the synth thing. I did the +1 on my meat, and you can clip that out and send that to Joey. And then a +1 on my edge, and then +0 on my style, and a +0 on my mind.
You don't have a -1?
I did. I put it on my cool.
Ah, okay, cool.
Oh shit.
I'm a hothead.
Yeah.
I lose my temper.
Cool. And again, like in a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons or RPG games, whenever you roll a dice and you don't hit a certain number, you have a tendency to fail that action. That really isn't the case in the Sprawl. It is more so you still get what you want, but there's a caveat. To it. There's a price that has to be paid.
Right.
So you might not have rolled a 10, but you still, managed to sneak past this turret. but except if you rolled less than ideal,
You lost
maybe
your
the,
shoe.
Maybe the turret clipped you a little bit, so now you sustain a little bit of damage, or maybe you alerted guards with the gunfire that you managed to escape.
I feel you.
That kind of thing. So keep that in mind. It's my job to kind of be like, what's appropriate in this situation?
Yeah.
How can I keep things interesting? Have you assigned any stats, Aaron?
Yeah. -1 meat and +0 synth.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, we're getting there.
I'm still figuring it out.
What does it suggest again that you apply your biggest...
Edge or mine, but I keep forgetting what each one is.
Edge is to use your street smarts and experience to give the impression that you're a badass. So basically to get people to respect you
Okay.
is edge. So if you want them to take you seriously,
Uh-huh.
you might want to invest in edge. But what
And
was the
then
other one?
mind?
Mind is you think your way out of a problem with logic, instinct, creativity, or any other mental process. So maybe if there's a hostage negotiation,
Okay.
and not only are you reporting it, but you're also trying to like negotiate the hostage situation, that you might want to invest in mind.
And then what style?
That's how you present yourself, your professional demeanor, your charisma, how you speak to people, that sort of thing.
Oh, this is really hard.
And it's okay because all these...
I care a lot.
All
I
these-
care
all these
so
numbers
much.
do,
I get
though.
so invested. I can't just put a number. I know they deal with the when the game comes and when we do stuff.
It's like if you roll a dice, say you get a 9, which is less than ideal because you want a 10, or a 12 because we're using 2 6-sided die.
Yeah.
Those plus numbers
yeah.
add to the dice, but keep in mind your negatives work too. So if you roll a 10, that -1 will bring you down to a 9. But it depends on what you're rolling for.
Okay. So edge is having an edge over things and people, and then
Being
mind
intimidating.
is intimidating is edge.
Yeah, it's like how you to give the appearance that you're a badass, or your street smarts. How good are you at like getting information on the street?
Okay. And then the mind is that's street smarts? No.
Street smarts is the edge. So like, is Natasha? Does she know her way around the new AE? Does she know like all the hottest joints?
she has
who she
to.
has to hit up to get the information, the latest scoop?
Yeah. Or she can just ask around.
That
so
lingo.
What if she asks around and figures it out? Who does she figure it out through? People?
Well, does she know that natively though? Because I feel like she's probably been a reporter for a long time, so maybe it might be worthwhile to invest in edge, that +2.
Or mind.
What does it say for your
Edge or mind.
Edge or
for
mind?
+2 or 1. I gotta put a 0 somewhere. I don't know if she'd freak out and cool though.
Has
+0?
Has she reported a lot in like war-torn areas? Like, has she report
Possibly.
a lot of gang violence and stuff like that?
Yeah. I don't think she's afraid to like get in there.
Maybe a +1 to cool then.
Where would the 0 go though?
That's up to you.
Oh my god. 0 means like nothing
Uh-huh.
in that category.
Yeah, you would just, the dice roll is all you're relying on. Which is fine because it's better than a -1.
Put it on your
Okay.
meat.
I already did the meat. I already put something on the
Well,
meat.
how do you want her? Let's say if she's interviewing someone and she wants to get
Uh-huh.
something out of them, do you think is she gonna be super nice and charismatic and know how to coax it out of them? Because that would be style. Does she know how to be kind of intimidating and make them feel like, oh, they have to, they should?
No,
'Cause
what's
would
that
be
one?
Edge. That would be edge.
So maybe a +0 on that. Or a +1. This is telling me +1.
Well, yeah, edge is your ability to kind of control your environment, you know?
Okay.
So
So maybe a +1 on that. And then the style would be, what's style again?
that's your
That's your appearance.
I keep
Your-
forgetting.
Try to think of it
charisma and
logically.
your
Like, what
nerve.
does style mean in real life?
Yeah, like your appearance.
Mhm.
So how you appear to people?
Yeah.
But I thought that was my. Oh no.
No, mind is logic. What is a
Your
brain
logic.
used for? To figure
Mind.
things out.
Okay. And then the. Oh man. Okay, so I guess I would do a 0 on cool or a 0 on I don't know. What do I do?
I'd say your best bet would be
Yeah,
to do
help
a
me.
+2
I don't know.
to
Uh-huh.
either edge or mind.
Okay.
So, is she more street smart or is she more logical?
This feels like school again. Street smart or logical?
Or logical. Mhm.
They're both really good.
Mhm.
Let's say okay, she's a reporter.
I
Would it
honestly,
be-
like, based on what you've told me about her,
Uh-huh.
I feel like a +2 to edge would be the thing because she's been around the city. She knows how companies operate and she knows how to get the scoop on
Oh yeah,
things.
because she works for the corporation.
I feel like a +2 is kind of the natural
On
fit
edge.
there.
Does anybody else have that on their edge?
Yeah, that's fine.
That it doesn't
That doesn't
matter,
matter,
because
yeah.
you're all rolling individually when you
Yeah.
do a job.
Right. Okay.
I feel like a +2 to edge might be ideal, and then a +1 to mind, because she's still smart and logical.
Yeah.
Except she's just better at like knowing the streets.
Then the people? I feel like people would be her kind of strong suit.
Well,
She's
that would be
reporting-
part of the edge as well, because
Oh,
that's like
really?
knowing who to contact. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do a +2 on edge, and then a +1 on mind,
And then what do you have left?
+0 and a +1 on style and cool.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now think if she's covered like.
Can I change this later? If I don't have to. Never mind.
You actually can't. But that
I
being
can't?
that
There's cameras and I'm freaking out a
being said,
little
that being
bit.
said, though, once you finish a
I'm
mission
really-
successfully, you get experience and then you level up.
You
so
can add it to what you're lacking in.
exactly.
Okay.
So that
I
0
need to
will
like.
become a
The
+1.
problem is why I'm having a hard time, and just so y'all are aware, why I'm having a hard time remembering which each one, because I'm not seeing it in front of me, and you're telling me, and I'm forgetting when I look at the word. It's easier when I like look at
That's
it.
okay.
Okay.
I'm always here to help you.
So that's why I need to like be. I don't really know
You're
what
fine.
to do. So +0 for maybe cool. What style again? The way you look to people.
Yeah, your appearance.
Charisma.
Yeah, your charisma, your appearance.
All right, I'm gonna put +0 on cool, so she's gonna freak out. I hate that. I
She's
don't
not
think
gonna
that's
freak out.
right.
Not necessarily.
And then +1 on style. Appearance is charisma. Style. Style is charisma.
Yes.
Okay, and mind. Okay, we're done. We did it. Hey, it's filled in.
There we go.
I don't know what happened.
All right. Now, step 4 is to choose the cyberware option. So,
You're ahead on this one.
What?
You're ahead on this one.
yeah, you already
Your
know
cyber
kind of what
ears,
you're
yeah.
doing. Let me
I
see.
want to be good at my character.
It's not a test.
To me, it is. I care a lot.
So the next part is choosing cyberware. So in the sprawl, everyone's got chrome, but replacing human tissue with metal and plastic isn't a trivial exercise. Choose one piece of cyberware from the options on your playbook and think about how and why you got into the business. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Why did you get that part of your body cut out and replaced with electronics? And 2, how did you afford to have someone cut that out of your body and replace it with electronics? And so every piece of technology comes with a caveat of some sort. It could be a prosthetic. Somebody might have forced you to get it. So maybe somebody was like, well, you work for this company now, so you have to get this arm lopped off and get a cybernetic arm. There's loyalty, where because you work for somebody or because you pay homage to somebody, they might get something replaced. Like maybe Joey's followers might have something because they want to be like him, so they're loyal to him. Enthusiasm, you're just really into technology. Necessity, you have to get it, kind of like Jason's leg. Otherwise he dies. You might be a technological junkie. It might be genetics. Everyone in your family has this sort of thing. Career might be part of your job, like Aaron. There's ideology, memory, military, all that stuff. Have you guys chosen?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I kind of already went over mine. I have cyber eyes, and I had to get them when I was still working for Vitacore. It was forced on me, but I grew accustomed to it and I liked it. It was just that once I left my job, I needed to get them changed so that they wouldn't be tied to that company anymore. And it says I get to pick 3 tags for my cyber eyes. And I picked thermographic, light amplification, and recording.
Light amplification. And recording.
Do you have a 2? Oh.
What is thermographic again? That's like just being able to see
That's what I assumed,
signatures.
yeah.
Heat signatures.
Cool. And then light amplification, you can see it in the dark, and recording. There is one thing where like your technology is like encrypted. So that like leads the possibility that the person that you paid to actually sever those ties might not
be
have done the
getting
best
everything
job.
right.
So it might be possible for somebody to exploit some of the
Definitely.
data. Cool. Any other? Oh, you just get one, right?
That's my one.
Cool. Anybody else finish their tech?
I got some questions.
Yeah. What's your question?
Okay, well, I picked cyber ears because I really think that's great.
Okay.
No, what is it says I can choose 2, but I don't know what dampening is. Or like wide frequency, encrypted.
Dampening is like the ability
to
to cut a signal. So like if somebody's sending out a radio signal to give coordinates of your position, you might have the ability to kind of interfere with that using dampening, where you can kind of almost cut their signal off so that you have a better chance of surviving. You can interfere with radio signals, radio waves, all that stuff.
Okay. And then wide frequency, what's that?
What is it?
Wide frequency.
Oh, you can pick up from a wide distance.
Okay. Recording, what's encrypted?
Encrypted, that means nobody can hack into that part of your body. So like, there's no company that can hack in your eyes and see what you're seeing. So maybe there's a squad that's after you where they have a hacker who hacks in your eyes and they can give away the position of all your teammates because you're looking at them.
Inaccessible partition?
Inaccessible partition is that there is a piece of it that you have, like, it's something that was there kind of like from the start. That's something that's been planted there. It might have been from the previous owner or something that the seller put there, but there's something there that you can't actually access, which might be a bad thing, but the important thing to remember about actively taking bad attributes in this game is that it makes things more interesting.
Okay.
It adds the ability to do cool storytelling. Because what if there's somebody that you're broadcasting this to that you have no idea is watching?
Okay, and dampening is what again?
That's interfering with radio signals and communications.
Right. Oh, that is a good thing. Okay, so I'm stuck between dampening, encrypted, because I don't want people to get into stuff I hear. I think that's really important.
It seems like for a field reporter with other competing reporters, they'd probably have encrypted so nobody steals their story.
So I already have that.
No, I would think you would choose that.
I would choose that.
Otherwise, there's a potential that a rival reporter can hack into your mind and steal or hack into your ears and steal that recording that you were going to report on.
Okay, so one for encrypted, and then the other one either being wide frequency, recording, or dampening.
I feel like recording. Kind of
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, recording. There we go. That one was easy, guys.
Cool. So cyber ears, recording. I'm sorry, what was the first one you chose? Recording and what?
Encrypted.
And encrypted. Perfect. All right. Start referring to you guys. I gotta get used to calling you guys by your characters' names. Sorry. Natasha and Nico. All right. Tango, Fred.
That sounds like a movie.
Tango and Fred.
I have cybercoms.
Okay. That seems advantageous for somebody who's a pusher.
Yeah, it does, because my cybercoms have satellite relay, so it's really easy for me to connect to the cloud and disseminate my message, across not just geographic regions, but multiple different types of people.
Cool. So you're definitely, are you known worldwide?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're famous then?
Yeah, I'm a famous pusher. I have a group of followers.
Cool. Good to know. Let me actually notate that. I didn't notate that at first. And another question I forgot to ask. Roughly how many followers do you have? If you're famous, probably quite a bit.
A couple million.
I can't walk on the street without someone not knowing who I am.
You sociopath.
Are you beloved? Is your general do people like you?
My followers like me, but my followers like me, but the upper class feels
fanatical?
A strong hatred. Sure.
Sorry, I should have asked this in the beginning, but it just came to me.
There's not much apathy.
Perfect. So it's just satellite relays. That's what, you only get one.
I get two, and the other one's an inaccessible partition because when I got it installed when I was a teenager, it was a compromise.
One thing that I forgot to tell you guys is how did you actually get this piece of technology? You got it because it's corporate.
Mm-hmm.
So you severed your ties with the company.
Right.
Let me see.
Do you think I should change one of mine to an inaccessible partitions because it was corporate hardware? Did that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna change from thermographic to inaccessible.
Hey guys,
partition.
is it time for me to make my character? Because it looks like
We're on step 2.
Oh.
Well, we're on step 4 actually. We're like almost done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, awkward.
What's wrong with step 2 versus?
Well, that's like too closer to being done. You know?
Oh. Okay. So maybe I can make my character and join you guys and play a next stream.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the PDF and like you just read through it and then we'll work.
Oh,
we'll make
wow,
it work.
great.
We'll make it
So
work.
it's a little bit of homework. I
What's
don't know if
up?
you're okay
Yeah.
with
Oh,
that.
that's it's fine. I mean,
It's
whatever.
kind of hard.
Oh, it's hard.
A little bit.
It can be a little daunting, you know, a little
Okay.
intimidating.
Okay, but you guys you're cool with like me doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
okay.
love to
Totally.
have you
Cool.
Kevin.
Yay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. But not right now.
It would be. We need another chair and.
Yeah, and we gotta set up
Like a
another
mic.
So
microphone.
logistically, it's a
It'd be
logistic.
tough.
Yeah, the table's like
cans aren't really set up.
It's
Yeah.
I see. Well, there's so many beverages on that end, but I mean, you can't have
Yeah.
room for people.
yeah, we get thirsty.
You know,
There's a lot of-
it's in a writer.
Okay.
We'll work you in though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely not right now, but maybe another time.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Is it gonna leave?
You guys need any other beverages or
I'm
No.
okay.
No,
I
Thank
wouldn't
you.
mind a
good.
water.
a water?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
That'd be lovely.
Good?
Did Joey just ask
Yeah, Eddie needs a
to bring
water.
water?
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. You guys are great. I can't wait to play.
We'll be
Me too.
good,
I can't wait
yeah.
to play
You
with
guys
you.
have a tank? You have a rogue? You got
We
I
definitely
mean,
like
This is like a
Yeah.
different game than that
A
kind
different-
of thing.
okay.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of like paladins.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is like sci-fi.
You think you could be an okay hacker?
I think
Yeah.
so. He might be good to call
We could
him
use
That
out.
one
might,
of
yeah.
those.
We could use one of those for sure.
So you, back to
That's
Coral real
you.
quick. So you're owned. You were owned. That's why you got it.
Mhm.
And then you're no longer owned. Cool. And did you leave the company on good terms? I forgot.
No.
No. So they might be kind of
No
wanting to
2 weeks notice.
They might want to reclaim that
Yeah.
piece of tech they gave you because there's probably some stuff on it they wouldn't want getting out.
Probably.
Hey, we got
Wow!
a sub.
They're
Oh, they're
probably not watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not watching.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sorry. Report to. Let me just. I'm notating a couple things
Yeah.
about Coral stuff.
Once again, just amazing.
Like, what is it that's amazing about his
That
life?
lower right square, like, that's all I'm concerned about.
Core on bad terms.
Lower left.
They want their tech back because.
Is it like the
it
sound,
has
or is it like the way it
vital
looks?
I enjoy the sound of typing. I always
I do
have.
too. I do too. I like it on like an actual keyboard, not a. Well, that's dumb. Okay. Like
A
Aaron,
virtual keyboard?
Real quick, your
Yes.
tech. How did you afford to get that piece of technology?
they gave it to me because I was promoted.
So it's because you work then.
Yeah.
So are you owned by Vitacore or I'm sorry, Lux?
What?
You're owned by that company? Like they own a piece of your body because they gave it to you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's just go with that. Let's just go with yes.
Well, like think about it. Like if someone gave me like a laptop for work and then I no longer work there,
That's
they probably
true.
want their laptop back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means they probably want their ears back.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. But you still work for them, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So Tango, you're owned. Owned ears. Cool. Joey. Sorry, that's the wrong one. How did you get your tech?
I got it installed, in, on the street.
Mm.
Like not back alley, but like not it wasn't the most reputable dealer.
Did you save for it, or did you kind of like get the piece installed and then kind of bounce on the dude? Maybe use your affluence to be like,
No.
Like,
Like
is
I definitely earned it, but I
Okay.
mean I might have stolen some money to
okay.
have enough to get it. It's okay. I mean I justified it by thinking that I needed it, so it was worth doing a little bit of swindling for.
Swindled and stole to get tech. Now, is the piece of tech, since you bought it, is the piece of tech unreliable, substandard, hardware decay, or damaging?
No, I mean, like, the piece of tech is okay. There was that partition that I don't have access to, which, you know, is always kind of in the back of my head that I don't really know what's there. But,
So I would say you're probably closer to, like, you fuck somebody over to get it. Because if you do buy something, you do have to choose one of the qualities that it's either unreliable, substandard, hardware decay, and damaging. But if you stole and kind of manipulated people, you probably fuck somebody over along the way, which is fine. It just means that you're hunted, and somebody kind of maybe wants their tech back.
So then, but if I bought it, then what are the qualities of it?
They could either be unreliable, substandard, hardware decay, or damaging. And so unreliable, it just doesn't maybe work when you want it to, in a vital moment maybe. Substandard, meaning it maybe doesn't work as well as you thought it would. Hardware decay, it's like over time it kind of just breaks after a while. And then damaging, it might hurt you a little bit. It might hurt your ears or your eyes or something.
I would say that's just damaging.
Okay. Damaging. Where are the cybercoms installed? Is it like on your head, in your brain, in your skull?
They're subdermal, so you don't know that I have them.
That's convenient.
It's very important for me to like.
So your body is a satellite, essentially.
Yes.
A satellite relay.
It's very important for me to maintain the appearance of not having cybernetic.
Cool. Very cool.
It's
That's
definitely
awesome.
one of the reasons for me getting this particular one was it being subdermal.
Sweet. What about you, Fred? What kind of tech do you have?
I'm just lost on that. Your body is a satellite. Like that sounds like an R&B song.
Body is a satellite.
Your body is a one.
I just want to orbit it all night.
How did I get it? Well, I said it. I didn't know.
What was it that you had? Eyes, right?
Yeah, eyes.
Cyber eyes?
Yeah, the cyber eyes. So I only get one, right?
I think so. It would specify on there. Like it might say take
It says
multiple.
one. It says choose one.
Cool. Cyber eyes, and you don't know how you got them, but do you think that you might have... Actually, fine. That's okay. You don't know how you got them. I'll figure that out for you.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you're hunted.
Okay. Sounds about right.
Cool. So now you get to step 5, choose your playbook moves. These are like some of your special abilities. They're listed on your playbook. Let me see. Each playbook gives you 1 to 2 starting moves. Some require you to choose mechanical or fictional details about that move, so make those choices now. Each playbook also gives you a number of options for additional starting moves. Choose which of those moves your character has now as well. And if any of your moves allow you to choose more cyberware, we got to go back to the previous step and decide how you got that tech and why you got that tech.
Are you talking about under moves? It says you get these 3.
Yep.
What are we choosing there?
The ones I think they're bolded.
So you get those 3 and then you choose one.
Oh,
right
I missed
there.
that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Oh, one thing I forgot to notate is Fred also has the carbon fiber skin
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I'll also make that part of the same reason.
Some type of.
Did you choose anybody choose their abilities yet?
No.
Go
I
ahead.
chose eye for detail, which
Well-
means that I am a master at tailing people and staking out locations. So when I perform surveillance on a person or place, I gain intel.
Cool. And intel is
Like
what
that.
you use throughout the mission phase of the game, where you can kind of be like, hey, because I earned this piece of intel, tell me about this particular structure, or tell me about this person. It can be used as a leverage point against, I guess, to help you out with the mission. Cool. And so you notated that? That's your only move you get?
Yes.
Cool. Anybody else?
I think I'm famous.
Perfect. I figured.
Wow.
That's
is that
good,
Joey Thymian?
Tango Malone.
Oh my bad.
Malvo.
Yes, Tango Malvo.
Malvo to you, little lady.
Sorry.
You can call me TM though.
TMI.
Anybody else, Jay?
You're like a cat.
So that's this whole like series here, right?
Right.
Okay. I chose shotguns.
Do you have the ability to use shotguns, or is that in the gear section?
Moves.
Okay, cool. What does shotguns do?
They shoot shit. They do 3 damage, close, near, loud, messy. Is that what you wanted?
Mind if I take a look at it real quick? Let's see. Cool. Is it linked? You have a lot of like technology, so is it actually linked to your body, the shotgun? So maybe instead of having to rely on like aiming down the sight, you kind of instinctively pick up the weapon and point, and it's like an extension of your body kind of thing? It can be, it's up to you. It seems like the proper fit for your character since you're pretty synthetic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
I like that, Nick.
Sweet, so you can do shotguns, and then you get to choose... Oh, so you're saying you're doing a custom weapon.
Yeah.
Cool. Give me details about that weapon. Look at the things underneath that.
Yeah, the 2 details.
Choose the details and then give me like a fictional reason. Paint a picture for me what that weapon looks like.
It's big and dangerous.
Is that the name of it?
It's a shotgun. It's just big and dangerous. Oh, you want a name for a shotgun? It's a Winchester. Yes, that company is still around in the future.
Cool. Reliable?
Oh, yeah. It's
Double barrel, automatic.
It's a single, but
Single barrel.
it's an auto rifle. They can hold 8 shells.
Auto loading?
Yeah. Or, I mean, that's kind of impossible, but I get it. We're playing impossible things.
Auto loading. Okay. What does it look like? Is it just classic? Is Fred a classic looking guy? Like, does he like his stuff to be like
Yeah, it's just
free from the advances of
it's just a
civilization?
regular old reliable shotgun with a little chip in the stock that I can interface with.
Links to Fred's mind. Cool. Does he have a name for it? Does he refer to
Betsy.
it affectionately? Betsy?
I like that.
Old Betsy? Betsy?
Just Betsy.
Perfect. How did he get it?
He took it from somebody who's not around anymore.
Perfect. What's the caliber of the shotgun? It could be a made up. You can say something crazy like a 5 gauge.
75 gauge.
Isn't it the higher it goes?
I don't
the
know.
bigger it
I don't know
is?
how it works, Nick.
I think it is. I think the smaller.
It's a 2
you get-
gauge. It's a 2 gauge
It's a
shotgun.
2 gauge. Cool.
Oh no.
No, because there's
No,
like
it's
a
the
12
diameter.
gauge.
I do
like,
know that. It's the diameter. A 12 gauge is like the standard shotgun.
There's a 20.
So if it goes
Like a 10 has more kick than a 20.
10 gauge. I don't know. I don't know shit about
At least
shotguns. The
I'm
furthest from
pretty
my extent of
familiar.
knowledge
At
of
least I think
shotguns
that's
is
the
that
case.
there's a 12 gauge.
Yeah, gauge is diameter, and the smaller the number, the bigger the diameter.
2. It's 2 gauge. Big big barrel.
Cannonball.
And thankfully his synthetic body can handle the recoil on that bad boy.
You know it. Not carbon fiber.
Is that the only move you get?
It says choose one more,
Yeah, go for it.
and I chose. I count as a small gang in when I mix it up.
Cool. So that means you basically are like fighting multiple people when people fight you.
Yeah.
Cool. Why is that though?
Sounds like it'll come in handy.
Is it that you're fast?
Oh, yeah.
Like what's the fictional reason? Like why is it that when people fight you, it's like fighting multiple people? Do you actually have flunkies with you, or is it just that your speed is like you're so quick that it almost seems like there's copies of you, or maybe yeah, something like that.
You got me going 2 different directions in my brain.
Up to you. You can go a different direction. It's just trying to think of a fictional reason
I'm
as
gonna
to
take
why.
a 3rd reason, and it's because I'm extremely dense.
So you can take a beating
Yes.
and give the beating.
I made myself laugh.
Fighting multiple people. because-
Typing is just steady and consistent.
All right, Aaron. Any moves?
Yeah. So I just want to pull the audience. Can I do that? Or should I not do that?
You can do that totally.
Okay. I'm stuck between 4 of them.
So you
'Cause
want
some
to
of it I
talk
don't really
to the
know.
people in our Discord.
All of us.
Cool.
Right?
Discord
Okay.
and us. Sweet.
There's one that's filthy assistance. It's when you spend intel and give mission advice based on your research. Your team takes +1 forward to follow that advice, and you mark experience.
That's pretty good.
The other one is called monstering. So you corner somebody and you question them to get the bottom of the story, and then I roll edge, which is my highest one, and then plus if I get a +10, then they'll tell the truth no matter what.
Ooh.
And then regardless of the consequences, and if I roll 7 and 9, they give you enough to get you off your back. And then there's when they're safe, they choose when to either respond with anger or fear or clinical calm.
Oh, I like that.
So that's interesting. Cool. And the other one is press pass. You reveal your public persona to fast talk your way in. Do not roll the dice. You count as rolling a +10. Take intel and advance the legwork. I don't really know what that means.
That's basically like you don't even need to roll the dice or leave it up to chance. Everything that you do is because like you're like, don't you know who I am? Like it'd be the equivalent of Anderson Cooper walking in and being like,
oh, you could just go in.
I'm Anderson Cooper.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
good.
this. I know this person. I'm walking in right now.
Okay. And then the last one is war correspondent. When acting under pressure while in physical danger, I roll edge instead of cool. My cool is 0, and my edge is 2.
Yeah.
So that could be beneficial, but I could always upgrade the cool with experience, you see. So I'm stuck. So does it just depend on like my character again and how I feel? Or?
Yeah, because you definitely picked the ones that are most advantageous
to your abilities.
Yeah.
So how easy is it to level up?
It pretty much at the end of a mission, which is going to be like every play session, you'll be able to level up. Unless you messed up.
Your stats?
Yeah. And you'll be able to get new abilities. People in Discord are saying monstering. People will like the idea of you like interrogating someone and getting the truth.
Okay, instead of I don't really understand the filthy assistance one. You spend intel, give mission advice based on your research.
That means that because of your reporting ability, you give everybody a tactical advantage whenever they do a roll. So you give
I give everybody a +1 when they
yourself.
roll, including me. That's kind of cool too. So maybe not the war correspondent one. If we can level up so easy, I could just roll that up. You know, that's fine. And the monstering is that means I can just corner somebody and get the answers. And the press pass is
that's where you don't roll and you just basically you and I have like a fictional conversation. We tell a story with our words where it's like, why are you being led into this building? So you just basically talk your way in.
Because I'm that person. So otherwise, if I don't pick this one, then I just have to explain why I should be let in.
Well, and you'd have to roll for it too.
I'd have to roll for it too. People in Discord are saying monstering.
People are saying monstering.
Okay. What do you guys feel? Does it just depend on?
I'm a fan of press pass.
You are?
Yeah, that was like a good one.
I like the idea of having an extra credit that like helps +1.
Was a
you
team
know what
credit,
I mean?
yeah.
What's that one again?
For which one?
That's the filthy assistance, I think, right? Give mission based on your research. Your team takes +1 forward to follow that advice, and you mark experience. Is that the one?
That's the one that helps everybody. And you also gain extra experience because of that.
So, that one or the press pass? You already could just get into places, I assume.
Unless they don't like him.
That's true.
He's only famous with his followers. You got to remember that.
That's true.
I'm sneaky.
You're sneaky? Okay. I'm going to kill the press pass. I feel like talking my way in could just be as easy. Cool. And then rolling, I'm fine with that. I don't really understand the monstering one. Because I have to get a +10 in order to get a real truthful answer.
No.
That gives,
yeah.
Is that?
I think it
Yeah.
auto...
That one, you have to get a +10 and it'll tell you the truth regardless of the consequence. But if I corner me at 7 through 9, they give you enough to get off your back. And then when they're safe, they choose to either respond with fear, clinical calm, or anger.
That means you'll pretty much always get what you want, but there will be just like a minor consequence.
Yeah.
That one or the +1. Do you have a +1 anywhere else? No? I don't know. Okay, I'll go with the monstering and make it interesting.
Sweet. The next part, we choose our gear. We're almost done.
Okay.
Each playbook has a set of gear options. Choose items as instructed. If there are particular items of gear that you want or something your character should have, bring that up now. Discuss what kind of things you can assume you have automatically. So, are cell phones a thing? Or wait, they're pretty much implanted, but are like people who decide not to have the cell phone implanted? Is
They
that
gotta use a
something-
payphone.
payphone?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, it has to be that antiquated. Yeah. It has to be pretty rare for someone to choose not to have it.
Cool. Is there anything that we can like expect that you guys have? Like, I don't really expect you guys to be like, oh, I gotta make sure I eat before my mission. Let's
Right.
go. Like, you guys have access to food and all that
I
stuff.
hate that in games when they make you eat.
Well, you forgot to bring food for the mission, so you died of starvation. Sorry. So you have like the ability to maintain your weapons. Like, you don't need to bring gun oil.
Gun oil, yeah,
Okay.
I hated that.
Good.
You didn't sharpen your sword, so you blah blah blah.
Choose your weapons.
You sharpen my sword.
So I have a holdout pistol or a fletchette.
A flechette? That's
Flechette.
That's
What
like
is that?
It's like a bullet, basically, like a plastic bullet that splits and sends plastic shards out. So you can like
Oh.
cut through things with it.
Flechette.
What?
A
What if you
flech-
shoot somebody with it?
They'll cut, like if you shoot somebody in the neck,
Shrapnel?
it'll cut their head off, essentially. It's shrapnel.
Holy crap. It's funny. The holdout pistol says, it's close, hand/close, discreet, quick reload, loud. So it's discreet, but it's loud.
It's discreet because you can hide it, but once you decide to use it, it's very loud and people will know you have a gun.
I like the fletchette. Yeah,
Yeah, that's badass.
that's what I like.
Yeah.
Eesh.
So basically the bullet goes into the target, but it explodes out and
Yeah,
these little
shrapnel.
shards, yeah,
I
they
like
shrapnel out. It's pretty cool.
Ouch.
It does the most damage. The other one's a damn taser. I'm not gonna use a taser. This is cyberpunk times.
Anybody else get any cool weapons?
Yeah. Well, I have a taser.
You have a taser.
Oh, sorry. I think that makes
Roast
sense
it.
for your character.
Oh, good.
That's funny. No, that's great. Why a taser? I'm just curious.
I don't like the idea of carrying a large rifle around with me anywhere, but I need some sort of protection. And a lot of my interactions with people would be close range. You
You're
know,
so
someone's
smart.
gonna get mad at me because they figure out that I'm following them, or I ask them a question they don't want to answer.
So
It's
already
not gonna
there
be
in proximity.
yeah.
Cool. Do you guys only get one weapon or piece
Yeah.
of gear?
Yeah.
I get two.
Yeah.
I think my second one is gonna be a sniper rifle.
Cool.
But that doesn't mean like it doesn't have to be on me at
No,
all
you
times.
can have it like
That's
off-site.
Okay, yeah, I have an off-site sniper rifle then.
So basically, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna put this sniper up here, and at this point in the mission, I gotta scale this building, and then I'm gonna take the shot from here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're precise. You're like a Jason Bourne type. You set up. You look in advance. That's cool. But you're better. You're Nico.
Nico.
oh shit.
What?
One of the things I could have chose from is encrypted communications equipment. I already have that in my ears. Okay. And recording equipment? Maybe I should have looked at this before I went to the other one. Oh wait, that's cool.
Well, what's cool?
Glasses is one of them,
Cool.
which I didn't know.
What kind of glasses you have?
It's for light amplification, magnification, and recording.
Cool.
What would light amplification be? That just makes it brighter?
See in the
Yeah,
dark.
you can see in the dark better.
Magnification and recording.
And it'd be cool that it's recording because, like, you have that ability to record from
Yeah.
your ears, but you can also set your glasses down and record. So it's like a
Remote.
remote. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
that'd be sweet.
But I have to pick two.
It's up to you. Joey, what did you choose?
Traumaderms.
I have a holdout and a semi-auto pistol.
Cool.
2 pistols.
Anything else?
The holdout is more stealthy.
Cool.
The semi-auto is for a crowd, low crowd control.
Because you are often surrounded by crowds. Have you ever used it on any of your fans?
No, I've never shot someone who follows me. That would really ruin my image.
Would it?
Yeah, it definitely would.
Cool.
Man of the people. I can't be killing the people.
Good.
I have armored clothing though, because even though like I don't really get in scruffs, like I'm always kind of paranoid
Hey, you're famous.
that someone's gonna come to me. So it's feels like it just helps me. It makes me more comfortable when I walk outside, knowing that my clothes are a little more armored than most. And I'm also encrypting my communications relay.
And you guys are notating these, correct? On your playbooks?
Yeah.
Sweet. Jay?
I have a sword.
What kind of sword?
It's an electric sword.
Cool. Is it like a short sword? Long sword?
What about it?
Like a broadsword?
What about it is electric? Does it like swing
It's
for
a
you, or is it
physical.
hot?
It's a physical sword that's electrified.
Oh, it's okay. It just electrocutes people.
So you can short things with it.
It's a taser sword.
Gotcha.
And then I have an armored jacket.
Sweet.
Yeah, I was doing that earlier too. Switch to the other one.
Nice.
Cool.
We good?
Am I the only one?
You still have a...
I have my other two things.
You
and then
go,
have-
go.
Okay. I also have an armored coat.
Hey.
My big trench coat is armored. And I have trauma derms, which
Oh.
That's my okay.
allow me to apply first aid to characters with 2100 or less harm.
That's good. That's pretty useful.
Come in handy.
I can't choose between that or armored clothing.
Well, I mean, you are a reporter,
I
like,
know.
or
You feel like I
going into
need that.
crazy zones.
Yeah, that protection.
Just depends on, do you want to help people more? Or are you more willing to, like, take a shot for someone?
Take a shot, I think.
Armored clothing, I think.
Yeah. Like, and if we have one, that's good. We
Yeah.
need a fucking healer. We need at least one, and the other one is the glasses. But I'm still trying to choose between recording, magnification, or light amplification. I gotta pick two. You seem to like the recording. I think that's good, but I already have the ears to record.
Well, that is just audio.
That's true. We don't have visual. And then, do I want to magnify or see in the dark? I think seeing in the dark is super cool. And if I just need to like run up to something,
That'd be useful
I could
for
just look at
recording,
it.
too.
What?
When you pair recording with being able to see in the dark.
That's true. That would work really well. All right, I'm gonna go recording and light amplification. Okay.
Okay. Step 7 is consider background and contacts. Think about your character's background. Do they come from the streets? Did they grow up in a corporate arcology? Do they move in media circles? Did they serve in the military, paramilitary of some kind? You know people from your old life who you can kind of still go back to and you can name. So if you guys like have a contact, like a reliable, like, oh, that's Joe from the coffee shop. Joe's my go-to guy for getting this, for getting drugs, for getting info.
Oh shit.
You probably have quite a bit of people, but you have to name one right now. Do you have maybe an agent?
Well, I wouldn't say agent as much as assistant.
Mm-hmm.
She helps me with keeping like my online presence because it's just gotten out of hand for myself.
What is, so she just maintains your identity and maybe like is able to scrub some of the maybe more unsavory things?
Yeah.
So maybe she's a hacker. Maybe your agent's or like your assistant's a hacker of some sort.
She helps me control the message by being able to manipulate what people see online by hacking.
What's your assistant's name?
It's beautiful.
Sharonda. Shirley. Sandra.
Also, how did you meet her? Is she just a fan? A talented fan?
Oh, dude.
Jason's taser sword. That's a pretty cool sword.
It's pretty cool.
Why are we just sitting on me trying
No,
to think of
that's
a name?
fine.
I don't want
Any other
to want to
contacts?
throw out a trash
Sure.
name.
Man.
I've got Delphine Nova,
Delphine Nova?
who is
Like the-
my
Delphine or Delphi?
Delphine. She's one of my only contacts that I still trust from Vitacore.
Vitacore contact.
How are you so good at this?
It's really good.
Core
I'm, like,
contact.
stumped.
What is Delphine Nova good at?
Her job, she's just some like upper level executive assistant manager type
She's a
person.
corporate.
Yeah, but she's very into gossip, and we got to be very good friends in my time there.
Cool.
And so she's without letting anyone else at the organization know, we've stayed in contact.
Very cool. How do you reach her? Do you just walk up to her apartment, or do you have to be more discreet?
There's a bar we used to go to after work all the time, and I can still reliably.
What's the name of that bar? So, meet at a bar. What was that, Eddie?
I was gonna say the name of the bar is Jack's Crack.
It's not.
That's a good name for a bar, though. And then we can come back to you, though.
Yeah.
Anybody else have contacts? Joey, also, how do you connect with your hacker friend?
Oh, I connected with Kat through my encrypted comms. She can.
Is she reliably at her desk? Does she drop everything to do what you do?
Yes, she is. She is the most devoted. She's basically an employee.
Perfect.
So she works for me around the clock.
Cool. And we said she was a fan?
She started as a fan, but then she proved her worth to me. And now we kind of she's my number 2.
Cool. Have you thought of a name by chance?
Kat. Her name's Kat.
K-A-T? C-A-T?
Yeah, short for Catherine.
Cool. That's awesome. Kat. Hank Duffy Nova. Perfect.
Let's hear some more of that typing.
Jay. Well, who does Fred know, if anybody?
He knows this one dude named Shifty.
Yeah. I love it. Who's Shifty?
He's just a guy who somehow knows me. And I don't know how.
What's your relationship with Shifty? Are you kind of like, is it that you don't trust him, but he gives you reliable info?
His name's Shifty.
Fair enough. How do you contact Shifty?
With a whistle, with a loud whistle.
A loud whistle. What about when you're like far off in the distance?
An even louder whistle.
Downtown.
I have to find a speaker to broadcast my whistle from.
So he's going to be pretty hard to contact sometimes. Okay.
He's Shifty.
Cool. No, that's fine. Contact via loud whistle.
Yeah.
And does Shifty maybe know more about your past than you do?
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I keep him around.
Cool. So that's the only reason why you haven't killed him yet.
Mm-hmm. I think he might be a robot, too.
Ooh, but you hate robots, so how does that relationship work? It's a necessity?
Tense.
Got it. Knows about Fred's past. Might be a robot. Tenuous relationship. Cool. And Aaron? Or I'm sorry, Natasha?
I can't get the name right in my head.
Who's this character though?
I think someone that was her mentor slash advisor, who also kind of like showed her the ropes, was a man from her last job, or from the beginning of when she started everything.
Okay.
That's all I really know.
So maybe like this guy knows
Trust
who to talk to at different agencies and different
I don't
companies.
think he's in any of that anymore, so she still talks to him. Like
He's retired?
Yeah, retired. But he showed her the ropes and how to do everything. And I don't think they got along well at first, but then had some kind of common bond along the way.
What was it?
They got to know each other more. Something that happened that made them be able to have an understanding. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Is it maybe that he kind of was the first time she was exposed to the level of professionalism, like maybe the network wanted to paint a story in a light that was like beneficial for them, but he kind of fought for being objective maybe, and maybe that was a good example for her?
Yeah. That's fine, I think.
What about a name?
I don't know, for some reason, like Robert Sigma keeps popping in my head.
That's a great name.
I don't know why.
Robert
okay, we'll go
Sigma.
with that.
Perfect.
Robert Sigma.
Emulated what she wanted to be. Or an example of who.
He's just an asshole. I think he's just a dick, like grudgy old man who just hates everything. But
that's great.
They saw something in each other because he had this thing that he wanted to like tell the truth, or like there was a story that came out or something. He's like, that's not what really happened, and it put a fire under his ass. And she's like, oh, he can be trusted, or he can do. He wants to do the right thing, or
I want to be like that. That's why I got into this
He was a
business.
passionate reporter.
Perfect. How does
Something,
she
a passionate
contact
advisor.
Robert? How does Natasha contact Robert?
They have something okay.
Like, do they meet at a certain place?
Yeah, or she contacts him a certain way.
Does she leave messages online and he kind of uses an algorithm to trace keywords?
That's all really good.
You can be like as creative as possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
just be like crazy. Think of some crazy way and we'll try to figure out a way to make it work.
She stands on top of a building and waves an umbrella around. I don't know. He looked up Jason. I don't know. I keep forgetting we're in cyberpunk realm. I keep trying to think future.
Think of something like that you think looks or sounds cool, and then we can find a way to make it work.
It's just like,
Oh yeah, the lore.
sorry, say that again. You think what?
If you try to think of like a cool or like a really
How do I
neat
contact
way.
him?
Well, I mean, she's a reporter.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
What if it's in a really old-fashioned way that's like left, like you know how people put ads up on telephone poles that are like, contact me if you want to learn how to play piano. What if there's a certain pole that she posts something that says that, but then he knows how to contact her, but that initiates, it's got to be a multiple layer thing.
That's fine.
And then that's
a good way of
him.
starting, and then he kind of figures
It's
out
somewhere
the
that he
rest.
walks by every day or something that he can go look at, and then she's actually that's not efficient. I don't know.
No, that's great.
That doesn't work.
If he walks there every day, sure. It's all this is doing is just giving me a story reason why you know this. So if you say if Natasha contacts Robert via leaving an ad on this pole that he walks by every day, then it's my job to be like, oh, this time Robert decided to contact her via a messenger boy for some reason, or this time it was an article headline suggester thing. I'll make it work. It's fine. But via poll works. That's fine.
Okay.
Via poll.
Via. What's the ad though? What is that?
Or because she has cyber ears, she can hear him. So if he says some kind of word from really far away, like she can pick up on it. It's something that only she can hear, nobody else. Even though.
But then he wouldn't know when she wants to contact him. So you
got this leg that gets a cramp in it. A cyber leg. I don't know.
I like the
I
poll
gotta
one.
think about it.
I like the poll.
Via poll. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. What if I use a bad signal? I was thinking like twirling an umbrella. I'm so old. I can't think of the future.
Okay.
I'm so old fashioned.
Sweet.
A
We are-
still need an umbrella in the future.
Yeah, it's true.
Nearing the end here. Step 8, choosing directives. Now, each playbook includes 4 personal directives. These are one of the ways that you as a player gets to contribute to the tone and direction of the game. Part of my job is to make these directives relevant. So make your choices based on tricky situations that you want to see your characters in. So, for example, if you want the stories that we kind of like encounter and experience to be about people that you want to show compassion for, then I'll try to figure out, like, I'll be like, oh, Aaron wants to see compassionate characters in our story. So I'll find a way to work in orphan kids in here somehow. Or if Joey believes that his ideology above all else, even when it compromises the mission, is something that sounds interesting, then it's my job to be like, present Joey with opportunities to kind of flex what they want to experience. And when they do that, they might screw over everyone else, but they'll still gain experience.
Right.
So there's incentive for you guys to maybe spend longer on a mission, or maybe do something that might hinder the mission because it benefits you in some way. Because again, at the end of the day, you're looking out for yourself. Have you thought of it?
I think I have my 2. My first one is vengeful. So when I harm Vitacore or their interests, I get extra experience.
Vengeful. Perfect.
And then my second one is behavioral. So describe your ethical code, and when adhering to your code hinders the mission, mark experience. And then I guess as far as my ethical code, I think it's kind of like it's burgeoning, like it's something I hadn't thought about in my previous life, but now it's something I care more about. And I think it's going to be primarily like I want people to have independence, and like not be indebted their entire life to like corporations or.
So you're like a liberator type.
Yeah,
almost?
yeah.
Liberate. Always tries to liberate and free from any form of bondage. Cool. That's great. That's awesome. Sweet. Anybody else come up with directives?
I have a financial directive, which means I will hinder the mission for a chance at extra profit.
Nice. So you're willing to kind of sell out the group, maybe?
Sounds about right.
Cool.
Anything for the bottom line.
That's awesome.
We need.
What else?
And hierarch. So when I improve my own personal standing or impair a rival's standing, I mark experience.
Arrivals. Cool. Man, Tango's really looking out for himself. All right. Any of you guys decide on any directives? Again, this should be stuff that you guys just want to see in the story, that you think would be neat.
What does it mean when your membership in blank hinders the mission mark experience? So when my membership in
Like
Unilux,
Yeah.
when it affects us in a negative way, I get experience? That doesn't...
So it's all of ours are kind of like that. So it's like when we decide we're gonna allow our personal backstories to complicate the group mission.
I think that will work.
Yeah, complication is good.
Yeah.
We want complicated.
Okay.
So what was that one called?
Network.
Network.
What is it? What do they call you? What are they called again?
Unilux.
Network.
That's where I work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what's the other one?
The other one is either revealing, which is when you discover more information about blank, or vengeful when you harm blank or their interests. I don't really know what that would be yet. And the other one's compassionate. But that's when you put your compassion for the powerless ahead of the mission. That means when I put other people besides us.
Yeah. So if you're reporting on a story of, this orphan boy, and you're in the middle of a mission, you see that this little boy is like hurt or something, or maybe he might be compromised, like he might be caught in the war. Joey might need you, Tango might need you to lay down cover fire for him, but your concern is getting that kid out of there because you care about him.
No, I don't.
That's what, she doesn't care about that. Natasha doesn't care about that.
No.
Cool.
I don't think so.
So it sounds like she's in it for the story. So I think revealing might be the one. She's in it for the
we
scoop.
discover more information about blank. I don't know, the pharmaceutical company?
Maybe the Grey Goo disaster.
Yeah, so the pharmaceutical, that's what my heart's telling me.
Cool.
Okay, what is it called? Vitacorp?
Yeah. Revealing then? That was yours?
Yeah, revealing.
Perfect. Fred, your directives?
I have two directives. The one is masochistic. When I suffer one or more harm, I get experience points.
So you're always getting hurt. That's
Yeah.
good.
And proselytizing.
What's that one?
Describe your belief system. When you persuade others to act accordingly to your beliefs, I get experience points.
What is that belief system?
I don't know yet.
What is Fred's?
I have amnesia right now. I'm not sure.
But he definitely operates like because he is a professional, he believes that.
He hates robots. He loves humans.
What about people who are a blend, cyborgs?
He's indifferent.
Hates robots, loves humans. So anytime he can convince other people to hate robots.
Yeah.
Cool. Humans, indifferent. Different to the next. Sweet. That might be interesting with Joey's thing. And finally, the last step is links. So let me get to the links page. Links. So in this final step of the preparation process, you all will create a series of professional links between each character. So each player will describe and introduce their character to the group. Each player will then tell everyone about a job their character did against one of the corporations that we've already established. So describe your character's role in that job, name the corporation you ran the job against, and then the character in that mission should have played a leading role in that job. So they should have been either in charge of the entire operation or provided a critical skill that was like the critical linchpin in basically creating that mission and making it successful. So this is your chance to like show off and show what a badass your character is. So try and think of like, this is in the past. So maybe you broke a story for Vitacor that also painted them in a bad light, so that would make them not like you a little bit more. So stuff like that. So let's start, let's see, and then I'm gonna start a countdown clock, and we'll get into countdown clocks when we actually play, but that's basically letting them know, like, these corporations are aware of your existence, and they don't particularly like you, kind of thing. And the closer your clock is to midnight, the more they know about you, and the more they know where you are and how to find you, which can be bad.
Cinderella.
So I think we have to start with Coral.
Okay.
And Coral has to tell us about a job that Nico ran, and then you all have to decide if you played a role in that position or in that mission.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
Any ideas?
I guess I'll say what's the other corporation that's Teat?
Teat.
Yes. I led a mission against Teat. Where I stole some information.
What kind of information?
Like product plans or like minor development notes, I guess.
For the formula, maybe? The
Yeah.
Teats formula?
Yeah.
Perfect. And were you successful? And who was this for?
It was for my last company. It was for Vitacor, and it was successful.
Perfect. And you just basically schmoozed your way in.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's great.
I feel like I might have had a small role in that too.
Okay. What role did you have, Tango?
Because a lot of my followers hate the fact that they can't provide milk for their children, and trying to get milk's secret recipe to be open source is something that, like, it's important to them, so it's by virtue important to me.
Wow.
It's not really important to me, but like because it's important to them, like I kind of need it to be.
Right.
So like
It's
just
useful for
I
you.
take on their cause.
So what did you do in that mission?
How
were you involved? Again, you don't have to be working with her.
No, I think that
You could have taken advantage of the fact that
some of my followers also worked as her contacts inside of Teat.
They filled you in with the details.
Yeah, so like I'm privy to what she did, even though she has no idea who that I am.
His followers were vital contacts. Perfect. So that means now that Teat is aware of you, for sure.
Yeah, they know that I support these people's mission to make milk a non-exclusive product.
Cool.
To the wealthy.
I like cheese.
Fred and Natasha. Is Fred into cheese then? Is that how he knows?
Yeah.
He likes that milk cheese?
I already professed my love for cheese, so
So what role did you actually play in that?
I might have killed some people to help it go.
Oh, so you were there kind of on the ground floor to help her get in.
I killed one security guard.
Cool.
So we have to do something with tea.
You don't have to. Your character could just be like, oh, I wasn't involved in that mission.
I just liked it because he wants to save milk, and I like cheese.
But keep in mind, the more people that are involved with that mission, the closer that corporation's clock is to midnight. So that means that if you run a mission against them, they'll know way more about you than would probably be like, it's going to be more beneficial for them because they'll know how to counter you guys. Killed okay, Tango. Let's see. Let me just write this. Tango. Fred. Fred killed a security guard. And helped
Oh, that was good.
Nico get inside one of the corporate offices. Perfect. Was Natasha involved in this mission? Did she cover it?
So I think she. Sure. I don't know. I was thinking
Well-
more she did something from Vitacore.
My mission was successful, and it was like corporate,
Oh, it was
espionage.
corporate
So
espionage.
there
So she
wasn't.
wouldn't know.
She wouldn't know. Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
I think she broke some story about Vitacore that hindered them, that they didn't want out, and it was. I'm trying to think. It's something that they did that was new. Whether it had to be something having to do with the implantation of the chips that they were putting in people that
Is
everyone
this
wants.
unrelated to?
Yeah,
the...
it's unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's unrelated.
So I'm gonna go. Now we're gonna do your story, your mission. So Natasha. Vitacore is gonna be after y'all. Or no, I'm sorry, T. That's T. So Vitacore. Sorry,
That's okay.
my bad.
No.
So Vitacore. So your mission was against Vitacore, and what did you do?
I broke something that had to do with.
Story that exposed. what
It
did
exposed. I'm either thinking something having to do with like the nanochips they were putting in people, and how there was some kind of, I don't know, bloatware, if you will, or something in there
Ooh, that's
that
good.
was like that nobody really knew about. I could be doing with like the ads or some shit.
Maybe the story that you broke on Vitacore was exposing their bloatware agreement that they decided to work with. What's the entertainment one called?
Unilux. That's who I work for, though.
What if Unilux and Vitacore basically worked together to have Unilux ads placed in certain people as bloatware?
That's
So
kind of
basically-
yes. That's what I mean.
So
Within, but
yeah.
everybody has these chips. Yeah, that's
Perfect.
that sounds right.
It exposed partnership between Vitacore and.
And I think at the end of the day, that's still good publicity for Unilux. Like at the same
Yeah,
time.
it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
It's
It's not
like,
going to harm Unilux's
no.
standing with you because you ran this mission against Vitacore.
Mm-hmm.
You just happened to discover that, and Unilux that found them guilty of adding Unilux advertisements in nanochips. Nanochips implanted in maybe young kids, in children, newborns.
Yeah, they start young. Yeah.
Cool. Fred, were you involved in that in any way? Again, you don't have to be. Just think how it would make sense for your
I
character.
killed a security guard.
He's your Fred's your go-to for security guard killing? Yeah?
Yeah, that'll work.
So you led the kind of oh well, that wouldn't make sense though, because you didn't actually do anything that benefited her. Because she probably wouldn't want you to kill anybody, because that would just make her look bad.
My bad.
Anything else though? Maybe you helped get information for her, or
I killed the cousin of a security guard.
a cousin of security guard who was in charge of overseeing some vital codes. Cool. Fred killed a dude
Nice.
to help
That's gonna be said a lot.
Yeah.
Natasha
Killed the
get
guy.
vital info. Perfect. Was either Tango or Nico involved?
I wouldn't know.
Cool. Tango and Fred are all we have left, and then we're done. Tango, Fred, any ideas on a mission y'all ran? Against a company?
I was trying to get some experimental cheese that Vitacord was making, and I was unsuccessful.
Well, this
And I
does
had
have
to
be
kill
in-
a security
It has to
guard.
be
It
successful.
does have to be successful. So did you acquire said experimental cheese?
I was successful, and I killed a security guard.
And you acquired the cheese. What's special about this cheese?
It's made from whole milk.
And that's a precious commodity in this
Yeah, you
new world?
can't get that anymore. It's mostly soy and almond milk.
Not a lot of cows around.
Not a lot of cows around.
Cool. Training experiment.
They keep them in cages.
Killed several.
That sword's badass.
Acquired natural whole milk cheese. So Fred's definitely the type of person who's just in it to like. He's in it for the living a good life and just like enjoying the finer things of life.
If it involves killing security guards.
And cheese and dairy.
And cheese.
Precious, come on, perfect. Were any of you involved in the cheese mission?
Could I have been like working against him almost? 'Cause
Yeah,
if
you-
he's,
yeah,
he
definitely.
stole something from a company I worked for.
You could have been working security, or you could if you were
Yeah.
involved in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, then I guess I failed to stop you.
What were you doing at the time? What was your like active goal? You saw that there was an active intruder in the company, but were you like trying to fight him? Were you?
I guess I was
sending
trying to
people after him
track him so people could locate him and take care of him.
to track
It's fair.
down Fred for violent. Perfect.
Kind of like a Tom and Jerry plotline.
Exactly. Game of cat and mouse. Was
No.
Natasha, no? Tango? No, not even for the experimental dairy? Okay.
It's just two unrelated things.
All
one
right,
common
Tango.
goal.
What mission?
I think my mission was more of a personal one, in the sense that I was doing a podcast,
Okay.
and I was slowly growing it, but I wanted, I craved more people to see the message.
So what did you do?
I actually, what was the name of the media conglomerate?
Ultralux?
Unilux.
Unilux, sorry.
Well,
Ultralux is a vacuum.
Is it really?
Unilux was having like a content creation competition for new ideas, new shows, and basically I submitted mine, but me and Kat were able to manipulate our own viewership data and kind of skew some numbers and artificially win this competition.
So you got like front page promo.
So yeah, like I got my podcast syndicated.
Perfect. Tango and Cat manipulated Unilux to get. What's the name of the podcast? You can think about that. Podcast syndicated. Were any of you involved?
I feel like I would be involved, but
Sounds like
would
it.
it be before I was working there or while I was working there?
It's up to you.
Could that be how I got my job?
Ooh. That's very good. So what did you actually do though?
But how would I find out about you two doing that? That's what I'm thinking
Maybe
about.
you could have just reported on the fact. So you might not have done anything that hindered him,
That's true.
but you would have done something that's like, oh,
I don't wanna
and
hinder
in
him.
today's news,
I could have interviewed him?
yeah. Ooh, I
Yeah,
like that. We can do that.
let's do that.
So Natasha interviewed Tango. How'd it go?
Great.
Great.
I
Was he?
think.
Do you like him? Did you like him from?
Yeah.
Cool.
I admire what he did to try to get what he wanted in a weird way, I think.
Cool.
Because I can.
Well, you
I
wouldn't
can
know
get
that he manipulated.
Oh,
the
I didn't.
numbers. No.
Okay.
You just otherwise that would have hindered because you would have called them out, and because
true.
this mission has
That's
to be
true.
successful. So all you know is what it is at face value, and that
Okay.
Unilux syndicated a new program, whatever Joey's podcast is called. Cool. What about Fred or Nico?
I was not involved.
No.
Cool. No security guards.
No, I didn't kill anybody.
Cool. And let me see if I can, while you still continue to think of a name. And that pretty much is it for this stream. I knew it was going to take a while, but we did
Yay!
the bulk of the work. We did all the heavy lifting today. Joey, any name for a podcast?
Synth Wang?
We're gonna call it.
The Tango Malvo show.
Tango and Malvo. Wow.
I was trying.
We can come back to this.
We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it. I'm gonna call it word marks.
What is it?
Word marks.
Word marks? Cool. What's the podcast about?
Words?
It's about how the middle class is vanishing and the poor are being taken advantage of.
And reports on vanishing of middle class.
Just keep staring at myself.
Perfect. So
Alright.
we have our world
Oh my god.
set in the new AE. We have our mega corporations. We have our
Damn.
characters.
Damn.
And when we return next week, what are we doing?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. On Tuesday on Twitch, we will be doing and conducting our first mission with our squad of misfits and punks. So again,
Squad!
thank you all for backing us on Patreon and making the show a reality. This is going to be a lot of fun. And with that, we are out. Oh,
Yeah, we're doing Snapcast.
we're going to do staff cast. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.
Types?
Bye.